There is an unpopular web novel entitled 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. From its initial release from the first chapter up to chapter 3000, which is the last chapter, there is only one reader of this novel. He is named Kim Dokja. He is me. I am a contract employee at a company who has an ordinary life and was often bullied during my school days. As a way to unwind, I have a hobby of reading novels after work and always take the time to read novels on the subway. At the moment, I return to continue reading the novel I am currently reading. My favorite novel is The 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World, written by TLS 123. The novel that has accompanied me for 10 years is now entering its final chapter, the finale. As I read, I'm disappointed because the novel has a sad ending. Not long after that, a woman suddenly approaches me. Her name is Yoo Sang-ah. She is my office mate who is very popular, a direct opposite to me who is quite easy to miss. As she came up to me, I really didn't expect I was talking to the most popular woman in the office. Seeing her closely, I understand the feelings of many men who fall in love with her. Sang-ah then looked at me who was reading a novel. "What novel are you reading?" "I also like to read novels and have read several." She smiled at me and continued to ask, "Who is your favorite author?" I was stunned to see a woman as beautiful as Sang-ah asking that many questions. As I am not used to having a conversation with a woman like her, I ended up answering her questions quite frantically. "You won't know even if I tell you the title of this novel." I also muttered in my heart, "I've been reading this fantasy novel for the last 10 years. Even though it's finished now, this novel means a lot to me. I've been reading this novel since 3rd grade of junior high school, even when I was bullied at school, failed the entrance exam to the university I wanted, and even when I got a job, I was always accompanied by this novel. There is an emptiness within my heart when the story is over. I didn't expect that there's a writer out there who spends 10 years of their life writing 3,000 chapters and keeps writing even though there's only one person who read it. At the initial release of the novel actually had 1,200 viewers, but as time went on, I was the only one who read this novel to the end. Actually, the story is pretty good if you guys are patient and keep reading, but not everyone has that kind of patience." I sighed. If only I live in a fantasy world, maybe I could be the main character, unlike this current boring life. As I lamented over my dreams that can't come true, suddenly I received a message. When I opened it, I was very surprised because the author of the novel had sent me a message. The message said, "Thank you very much. Because of you, I was able to finish this novel. I even won the competition." I couldn't believe that the writer just sends me a message. Curious, I asked, "What was the name of the competition?" The author of the novel replied, "You wouldn't know even if I told you. This is a small competition, and this novel will be monetized soon. Monetization starts from the time the epilogue is uploaded." After sending that message, shortly an email came in from TLS 123 containing, "Dear readers, monetization will start at 7 o'clock. The information on this novel will be useful for you. I bid you good luck." Confused with that weirdly cryptic message, I then looked back to search for the novel. The confusion was even worse after seeing that the novel had been deleted, all 3,000 chapters. Not long after that, the train that I was riding on suddenly shook, as if there was an earthquake. The passengers panicked, but I tried to stay calm and told Sang, "Don't worry, maybe it's not something serious." Unintentionally, I looked at the clock on my cell phone, which showed 06:59. When the exact clock hand hit 7, the situation began to change. Not long after, there's an announcement on the train radio. Clearly, the announcer was scared as the voice trembled. "Announcement to all passengers!" The voice paused. Everyone on the train was quiet as they quivered fearfully in their seats. Then the voice continued. Everyone, run away." The evident fear in the announcer's voice sends the passengers into a frenzy. After this, suddenly the train stopped. From my experience, the subway train would stop occasionally, and it's not out of the ordinary. But why did I suddenly think of the initial story in the novel I had just finished reading? Surprisingly, from the corner of the train, a mysterious light appeared. The passengers were astonished to see that light, as from that light, emerge a mysterious figure. I looked at the figure in front of me. I was really shocked because I remembered the monster from the novel, 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. This can't be happening. But I remember it well. 2 small horns on his head, the ability to fly in the air. Wearing a small fluffy robe, that creature is called a dokebi. The dokebi floated and then spoke a strange language that no one could understand. People were confused and started asking, "Who are you? What are you? Are we shooting a movie?" The bizarreness of this situation made all of the people bombard the dokebi with question after question. Meanwhile, I still can't believe all of this. In my heart, I know it's a real dokebi. I wasn't wrong. Is there anyone other than me who knows this? All of this doesn't make any sense. Suddenly, the floating monster speaks in Korean. He says, "I just added the Korean page. All of you can understand me now. Free service for planetary system 8612 is cancelled, so the main scenario starts now." Everyone is silent as they wait for the dokebi's next words. "Everyone, can you hear me? I will announce something, and it's super important." The passengers are starting to get annoyed at the behavior of the horned monster. Someone looks angry and says, "Stop filming! Hurry up and start the train again! We've lost too much time. Don't you know that I have more important things to do?" Complaints after complaints followed the man's outburst. Not just them, the dokebi also started to get annoyed. "You guys are so noisy. I will make you be silent forever." With that, suddenly the head of one of the passengers exploded and his blood was splattered everywhere. It was at this moment that I finally realized that they aren't filming a movie, nor is it a dream or a novel. This was reality. Easily, that dokebi can kill the passengers in an instant, like a mere insect. Seeing this incident, all the passengers started to truly panic. I really believe this is the reality. I can feel it in my mind and smell the tang of blood on my nose, and my ears were pierced with the cries of the passengers around me. However, I was still as I listened to the dokebi's next words. "You have done fun things in this world. Unfortunately now, the good times are over." Immediately, the look in his eyes turned scary. In the middle of this panic, someone then approached the dokebi and said, "Do you want money? I'll give you as much money as you want, as long as you let me out of here." I and Sang-ah know that man. It's Han from the company's finance division. Smiling gleefully, the dokebi then burned the money Han was holding. He says, "This will indeed be useful if used in your own world, but such paper is meaningless in this world. If you do it again, I will blow your brains out just like the guy I killed before. Do not test my patience." As the dokebi threatened us, a mysterious voice suddenly rang out. Channel B 17623 had been opened. The Constellations have entered. Blue screens instantly appeared before everyone's eyes. I became shocked to see a message on the system saying that the main scenario had started. Everyone starts reading the message. The main scenario of the first mission is to prove your worth and kill more than one creature. On the screen, it was written that it belongs to Class F difficulty, with a time limit of 30 minutes and a prize of 300 coins. However, if we fail, then we will die. The dokebi laughed at our expression. He then said, "Good luck to you guys," he added. "Do show us an interesting story." Without telling anything else, he then disappeared. The passengers were obviously confused by this situation. While Sang-ah tried to call the police, her attempt was futile, as she could not even reach the number. I tried to calm her down. "Calm down. Let's just say that now we are playing a game. Those who manage to survive will live on. Look at that blue screen. We just have to follow the instruction inside of it." Then I looked around the area and started to think. Dokebi with small horns and corpses scattered around. Office workers who were bleeding and kept shivering in fear, and a grandmother praying in the priority seat. This situation is exactly the same as the situation in the novel. Now, there is no time to find out why all this could happen. What is certain is that the story of the novel is now really becoming a reality and taking place right before my eyes. In the midst of this conundrum, someone said, "Everyone listens to me. Calm down and take a deep breath. Relieve all of your worries and fear. From now on, I will control this situation. I am an army lieutenant on duty. Not only this place has experienced this strange situation, I just received a message from the central unit. Our country is now in a level 1 national disaster situation. His calming presence brings fresh air amidst this chaos and confusion. Moreover, I recognize this man. He is Inspector Lee Hyun-sung, a lieutenant of the South Korean Army. He is one of the supporting characters in the novel. Damn, I still can't believe that the characters in the novel have appeared in the real world. But from what I remember, Lee Hyun-sung's first appearance was not like this. He appeared after the first scenario was finished, I thought. Why did he show up now? Outside, the government through the Prime Minister announced directly via live broadcast. All Koreans immediately saw the live broadcast, including the people on the train. Prime Minister says that many unknown terrorists are carrying out the action. Before finishing his talk, the Prime Minister was killed suddenly. His head was blown to pieces, and he died instantly. Everyone who watched the show was in shock. The Dokja immediately appeared on the screen near the dead Prime Minister, with a ghastly look in his eyes. He said, "Everyone, listen to me carefully. Don't you understand the current situation? Then how about we raise the difficulty level by a bit?" Suddenly, a screen appears containing the time that keeps going backward. The time given then reduced rapidly, and now only 10 minutes remained. However, the time limit continued to run backward, and an announcement began to be heard from the system. If the time is over, and someone has not finished the main scenario, they will die, and there will be an additional penalty. Within 5 minutes, if nobody finished the scenario, the penalty is that all living things in this channel will be destroyed. Hearing that, I started to think the situation will proceed according to the novel's scenario, even though there were some things that didn't fit in the novel. As far as I recall, this is the moment when he appeared. Shortly after, there had been murders on other trains. The passengers panicked. They tried to close the train door, but suddenly magic energy enveloped the door. The channel system announced, "All incoming and outgoing access will be restricted until the scenario for this channel is completed." The Dokja, who was in the live broadcast, added, "There are many places that are starting to get interesting, but some other places haven't even started yet, which is disappointing. Okay, I'll show you what will happen if no one kills for the first time in 5 minutes. A large screen then appeared in front of everyone, looking at the high school students who were sitting quietly. But all of a sudden, the girls started running. The time limit has run out, so the punishment will start soon. The female students there were all wiped out, their heads smashed and blood splattered. Suddenly, the train passengers were shocked to see that. It can be seen that now one student is strangling her friend mercilessly, making the audience have to watch as the student slowly died of strangulation. The student on the screen doesn't care about her friend. The student immediately killed her. The channel system reappeared and said a Class B girl-type high school student named Lee Hai managed to survive Class 2B after killing a female student. She succeeded in the first scenario and survived. The Dokja laughed and said, "How fun, isn't it?" The people, after noticing that, began to be wary of each other. Sang-ah even let go of her grip on mine. I thought it was weird why he hasn't shown up yet. The beginning of the story that I knew in the novel was different from the current situation. The only way to be sure is to reread the novel. I opened my cell phone, and then I realized that the novel had disappeared. I was silent for a moment. Then I remembered the email given by the novelist. I saw that there was an attachment in the email. I then opened it, and it turned out that the attachment contained the entire storyline of all the chapters. Immediately, I felt shocked and amazed. It turns out that this person gave me a gift by sending me the entire novel file. I still can't believe it. Before long, the system window appears. You get special attributes, and you can use special skill slots. I started to think, I know everyone who clears certain conditions will get special attributes, and can use special skills as well. This situation was similar to a game. I needed to know what special attributes and skills I got now. I quickly checked the system, and the character window couldn't be displayed. I was wondering, what's wrong? Why doesn't my character window appear? I have to find this out. Then I opened the file that the author gave me. I opened the attachment, and after that, a message from the system appeared. You have received a special attribute. Your reading speed has increased. Instantly, my eyes feel weird. I feel dizzy, and damn, my head hurts a bit. Is this the effect of my special attribute? I only spent less than 1 minute to read the first part of this novel. After knowing this, I decided to quickly read it again. I kept reading and found a piece of the story. The story said that he's in the train number 3707, which could be the answer to the storyline discrepancy. Maybe the reason why the scenario didn't match what I read was because I was at the back of the car that the main character in car 3707 didn't experience. In front of me is now a commotion. Now, Sang-ah said, "Shouldn't we stop the fight in the carriage over there? I think the storyline in the novel will only have 2 survivors, namely Lee Hyun and one more Kim Nam-won. Everyone will die, including me." The situation in carriage 3707, you can see a young man beating up an old woman. I told you to surrender and be silent. He was about to hit him again, but was stopped by someone. It turned out to be Mr. Khan. "What are you doing? Stop all this," he said. While pointing at a screen, the young man replied, "Don't you see? Do you want to die?" "It seems you still don't understand too. To survive, we have to kill someone." The young man then beat the grandmother again. Han, who saw that, was annoyed. Of course I know this fact. But killing one's own species to survive is only done by a trash. Seeing that everyone was now in an awry position, with a terrible look in the eyes, the young man replied, "This is a new world. If we don't kill, we will die. The world you know is over, and in this new world we have to follow new laws." I saw the incident from behind the carriage door. In my heart, I knew the laws of the world that we know had ended. The young man had started it, according to what was written in the novel. The young man turned out to be named Kim Nam-won. I kept thinking, if no one gets killed within 5 minutes, everyone in this carriage will die. All of these events felt as if I was rereading the plot of the novel and watching the entire scene before my eyes. That old granny becomes the first victim if I change the scenario carelessly. There will be little I can do going forward. That's why I have to let that old lady die. But is this kind of thing true? My thoughts became jumbled. Sang-ah, who was beside me, then moved and said, "He will be killed if he let him. I must save him." I immediately stopped Sang-ah and said, "Don't move recklessly. You could be in danger or even get killed." I'm still confused because I'm human. My human side wants to help the grandmother, but on the other hand, I don't know if the storyline will change later. I thought hard. Even if the genre of the story changes, there will always be someone who shines as the protagonist. But this time, if not me, then who? I'm the only person who knows the plot of this novel. The time to complete the first scenario leaves 7 minutes 32 seconds. I steadied myself. It's actually too early to make a move, and this wasn't the plan I had prepared. But I strongly disagree with the inhuman behavior that's going on. Gathering up my courage, I entered the carriage in front of me and immediately pushed my body so hard that I fell to my knees. "What's all this? Who are you?" I thought maybe I looked like I was pushing Kim Nam-won and wanted to save that grandma. But that's not what I was after. I looked around. He should be here. For a moment I saw someone. There was a boy who caught grasshoppers. I immediately approached him and said, "I borrow this for a minute." I took the box containing the grasshopper and gave the child something. I then shouted, "Everyone stop and listen to me. According to the system word, we have to kill at least one creature to clear the scenario. So if the grandmother was really killed, who would you kill?" someone said. "What are you going to do next to kill the person in front of you?" Hearing that, the young man laughed and said, "Of course we would kill a bastard like you." I replied, "You don't need to do this. There is another way to survive without killing someone. Did you guys forget the conditions to clear this scenario? The requirement is not to kill humans, but to kill one or more living beings." I then held a grasshopper and saw that there were still 3 grasshoppers in the box. Knowing that, people immediately chase after me, then immediately threw the box. The grasshopper in the box then flew away. The people there then were busy catching him. 3 minutes 12 seconds remaining. The young man then approached me. "Hey, why did you do that? You could just give the grasshopper away, right? Honestly, you just want to see this mess happen." Deep down I know this person. He's Kim Nam-won, one of the novel's characters, and as far as I know, he's a reckless, ruthless man who would enjoy a chaotic situation like this. In my system, it appears that the character identification special skill has been activated. a skill that could tell someone's information when they saw it. I saw, but it's written on the system. Kim Nam-won has a special skill knife fighting level 1, a teenager edge who has a dark side when triggered. I started to think again. In the novels, this boy would later be called the delusional nickname Diamond. Started approaching me. He said, "Cooperate with me. Are you interested?" Kim Nam-won has a good impression. Kim Nam-won, who knows I heard but did not respond. He then grabbed my shoulder and said, "You don't seem interested, then can you step aside? I have business with Grandma behind your back." Time remaining 2 minutes 58 seconds. The atmosphere in the carriage is not abysmally. They are fighting each other locusts. There was a fire inside. I immediately stopped Nam-won, who wanted to kill the grandmother. Nam-won looked at me. "Are you trying to be a hero of justice now? You are the type of person I hate the most." I saw him scared. Kim Nam-won's character looks down on you. You meet the condition to use level 1 of reader view exclusive skill. We stared at each other. Nam-won was angry. "I told you to get out of the way." Then one attack was launched. Looks like he can cast magic from his hands. Luckily, I was able to dodge. I realized something was a special skill attribute. I can already use my skills. Nam-won attacks again. This time I managed to block his attack. I was in pain. Nam-won then released his aura of power. Skill black forehead level 1. Nam-won launched an attack with skill, but I was still able to dodge it. What the hell are you doing? You really are so strong, damn it. I thought again. Even though it's just started. But he can already use that skill. Extraordinary talent. No wonder the protagonist of the novel recruited him. Despite knowing his psychopathic personality amidst the panic, a system notification popped up. You meet the condition to use level 1 of exclusive skill reader viewpoint coefficient. I suddenly became surprised. What is the charging for the viewpoint reader? Nam-won attacks again. I managed to dodge 2 of Nam-won's attacks. All of them can be avoided. He's pissed off, you bastard. Why don't all my attacks hit you? Level 1 of skill omniscient leader viewpoint has been activated. Nam-won's right shoulder attack was avoided. Again, I managed to escape. I told myself, with this I can read his movements. If I read what she's thinking, damn, I can only use that to dodge. I'm not good enough to attack yet. Now I just have to buy some more time. Seeing that time was running out, Nam-won immediately saw the grandmother who was lying down. I immediately moved to protect her. When Nam-won managed to kill the grandmother, he would finish this scenario. No matter what happens, I can't let him go to the next scenario. Nam-won is getting annoyed. I knew you would do that. He then took out a knife from his pocket. Knife fighting heart level 1. His attack hit my shoulder. It hurt a lot. Damn, it felt like my skin was burning from this attack. I immediately carried the grandmother's body. In death, he says death is right behind me. The rule in this world, the weak die and the strong survive. A doubt will only lead me to death. Sighing, I then firmed up my belief. I killed the locust. A message from the system appears. 100 coins are obtained as a reward. You have killed the second living being. It keeps popping up non-stop. You have earned coins. Would you like to see how to use coins? Nam-won prepares to attack again. Then, I put 2,700 coins in my system. The coins I got, then I put into my physique, raising my physical status from level 1 to level 10. The resistance of your body increases. One stab right at the heart, but the attack bounced off. Nam-won suddenly surprised to see that. He immediately kept his distance with a sharp look in his eyes. I said during the mating season the locusts can produce as many as 100 eggs. I don't want anyone's precious life to be killed except for you. You will die. I have killed a locust that has 100 eggs in it. Nam-won started to panic, seeing that there were only 57 seconds remaining, but continued to attack. But none of his attacks could hurt me. Until Nam-won got frustrated and said, "Please save me. Didn't you say everyone's life is precious? I don't want to die, please save me." I was just silent. He said that it was the punishment of the previous world. You yourself said that the new world needed a new punishment, and in the end the time allotted for the first scenario had run out. Blood started to splatter. Main Scenario 1 is complete. Channel by 7,623 train line 3,434. 5 people survived. Shortly Dokibi appeared. He said, "What happened here when I was gone?" I didn't expect anything extraordinary. In the end, there were 5 people on the train who survived. They were Lee Hyun-sung, Yoo sang Ah Miu Ah, and finally Kim. Me after clearing the first scenario. A message from the system appears. You get 3,500 coins because you kill a lot of living things. You get a gold achievement. You get 300 coins from completing the mission. Additional prizes are being calculated. After that, the train finally walked again and crossed the ocean crossing bridge. Behind the glass of the train, they were all shocked to see the figure of a giant monster in the ocean. I know him. In the novel later, he will be classified as a 7th-grade monster. Since following the plot of the scenario takes top priority, as long as it is protected by the scenario, then I don't think we will be attacked. Soon the train suddenly stopped again in the middle of the road. Everyone was amazed for a moment. I saw Dokaibi with stars floating above his head. Where it is called a constellation, each Dokaibi has its own channel, and a constellation is a figure that can watch the plot of the scenario broadcast by the Dokaibi through its operational system. Humans will get coins from the constellations as a reward. For humans, can use in the channel system. For a moment I observed the situation. I saw Nam-won who had died. Now the plot has changed. If it goes like a novel, Nam-won will kill most of the people in this carriage and survive. Soon a message from the system reappeared due to the death of Kim Nam-won's character. The 2 constellations show hostility towards you, because there are some unforeseen scenarios. Even so, there are constellations who like him. Some constellations admire your scenario. The constellations have given you 500 coins support. In his heart said, if there are constellations who hate me, of course there will be those who like me. Whatever happens, please watch me till the end, because in the end you will pay the fee to watch me with your life. It can be seen that there are 21 constellations watching Dokaibi's channel. He then says, to be honest, I didn't expect much from this channel. But it turns out that you guys have passed your first scenario, and have proven that insects like you deserve to survive. Since you guys completed the scenario, you are entitled to receive support from the constellations. Hearing that people were confused, they wondered. Looks like you all are confused. Well, instead of listening to me 1,000 times, it's better for you guys to see for yourself. Their system screens then appeared containing the sponsor selection. Please choose your sponsor. The sponsor you choose will be a reliable supporter. There are 4 sponsors on my screen. This image is a form of constellation support, which is the fundamental event where constellations can choose a human they like to support and make that human their incarnation, or spirit seller. I started to think now there are 4 constellations that like me. Of course I know them even though they never reveal their real names and just use weird words. First of all, he is a very powerful entity. He leads a group of constellations called Black Cloud. If I become his incarnation, I will gain very strong attack power. But the more this constellation's power is used, the more it gets eroded as well. One might even die in madness. I will refuse. Second demon light judge of fire. Actually, he's not a devil. He's an entity that judges things using fire. She should be an archangel. This option is pretty good, but they have ridiculous requirements if they want to use their powers. The third option is secretive lottery. As the sole reader of novels, this was my first time seeing this entity. Maybe this is the star that is not explained in detail? I'm not sure which one to choose. The last option is prisoner of the gold headband, which means the smallest prison in the world. He lives a life full of pain because of the headband that binds him. The Lord of the Mountains, the Great Heaven, equals Sun Wukong. As far as I can remember in the novel, there was only one person who was sponsored by Sun Wukong, whose power could destroy hundreds of incarnations with a single sweep of a staff and annihilate thousands of monsters with one strike of lightning. I didn't expect this constellation to offer me this soon. What will happen if I choose him as sponsor? Can I win against him? I didn't know the time allotted for choosing a sponsor had run out. Dokaibi says, now you guys rest a bit. I will go prepare the next scenario and don't go anywhere. The Dokaibi then disappeared. After that, I asked everyone to gather. We then got to know each other. Introduce me Lee Hyun-sung. As you have heard, I am a soldier. I feel his hand is very strong. At the beginning of the novel story, he's the strongest tanker. Somehow I have to become a team with him. Lee Hyun then said thank you. If it wasn't for you, we would all be dead. Master Han then grabbed my shoulder. Mr. Employee, you should already know me. I smiled. Oh, you should call me head of the treasury, he said. I'm annoyed to hear that. Don't you know what situation this person is in? Now this kid, he named Li Ji Liang. Do you want to live? Let's go together, I said. I then said to everyone, you yourselves must realize this situation we are in is like a game. This screen display of attributes and skills that we can use is a reality that we have to live with. Li Hyun replied, I'm glad you convinced me. Then do you have any ideas for the future? Lee Hyun-sung's character trusts you a little understanding. I then replied, we have to get out of here. Suddenly everyone was surprised. They remembered the many monsters out there.
What are you saying? We will instantly turn to ashes if we get out now.
In between the conversation, there was a sound of a kick that wanted to destroy the carriage door. I realized that. Could it be that beyond that door was the only survivor from the other carriage? It was obvious it was him. I then said most likely he is a survivor for killing others. We should get out quickly. I don't know what he will do to us. Everyone started looking for a way to get out the train doors. All of them broke down. It didn't take long for Sang-ah to find the train door slightly ajar, but unfortunately the door was also difficult to open. Using the skills I have, I see Lee Hyun's character. There are many attributes and skills used. I then said, Mr. Lee Hyun, please use your skill. I know you're confused, but just think you're using your skill. Lee Hyun was confused. All right, I'll give it a try. He then shouted as he opened the door. A magic aura then came out of his body. The door finally opened. Seemingly distrustful of his abilities, the character Lee Hyun started to believe me. Your understanding of Lee Hyun-sung's character increases. Immediately, the five of us then ran away, but surprisingly the dokebi had appeared before us. Geez, what are you two doing? I told you not to go. The preparations for the next scenario are not finished yet. Everyone panicked, Mr. Han said. Die us. I expected this. We shouldn't have gone out. Not long after, he again said that it seems you are all lucky people. Everything is now ready. On their system screen pops up the second scenario that has appeared sub-scenario, Hazy Difficulty Level E. Cross the broken bridge and go to Aksu Station. Time limit 20 minutes, reward 200 coins. Unknown failure. I ran, but Sang-ah stopped me. Wait, it says the bridge is broken. We have to look for it first. I replied, don't mind, just run quickly. Follow me. I already know this. As I thought, this scenario would arise because we exited the train too quickly. So this bridge has not broken. In other words, this bridge will definitely break. The location where completing the scenario is at the end. After crossing the ocean, the five of them continued to run halfway from a whirlpool. A gigantic monster figure then appeared and stared at them. Everyone panicked. Hurry up and run. This bridge will probably be broken by him. While running, I tell him that this creature is not targeting the incarnators and will only destroy the bridge. Good. Another 200 meters. At this speed, we can make it before the bridge collapses. It seems this easy game is not fun, not interesting. Dokebi then level up the scenario. Scenario difficulty has been adjusted from E class to D class. Evil thoughts of dead people reappear. The ground around was filled with black effects. A black aura then resurrected the evil people who had died and turned them into zombie evil humans who had awakened. Lee Hyun had already arrived at his destination. Meanwhile, Mr. Han, Sang-ah and I are now caught in a crowd of zombies. I looked up. Everyone on the ground, a huge explosion occurred. After that, I woke up, surprised to see the zombies that had disappeared and the bridge had been cut off. I also got up. I thought the bridge would break. Now what should I do? Sang-ah is seen embracing the injured Mr. Han. Amidst the panic, a voice came from the channel system. A person receiving the Constellations' assistance with the help of Deus Dex has been activated in Deus Ex's scenario. A bridge of light is formed created by the Constellations, which can only be crossed with an even number of people. The bridge will immediately disappear when the number of people is odd. Trying to cross it, seen now a light covering the broken bridge. Sang-ah suddenly felt dizzy. Why did my head suddenly hurt? I realized that at a cost the Constellations could interfere in the scenario. Now the Constellations chose Sang-ah as their incarnation. This rarely happens in novels. I should see the sponsor. Enable identification. This person information cannot be read with a character list. This person is not listed in the list of figures. I wonder, damn, why is this? Maybe he has a special supporter or some mental fencing skills. A surprise attack was launched. My body was thrown far away. Now in front of him was standing the figure of Kim Nam-won, who was resurrected into a zombie. Damn it. I can't let my guard down now. He's a level 9 human type, the infected bad guys. I got up, Kim Nam-won immediately came to attack. I immediately activated the reader viewpoint. Suddenly a system message appeared. He had no consciousness. Skill of mission cancelled. I panicked. I can't escape now. I can only keep dodging. In the midst of a difficult situation, Mr. Han, who was injured, was seen carrying Sang-ah's body. I saw that. Master Han immediately ran across the bridge on one leg. I'm fucking annoyed he actually left me. The Constellation secret is shocked. How easily you are fooled. The Constellations are impressed with sacrifice. You 100 coins donate. I activated skill identification on Mr. Han, but again no information about it came out. Unlucky. Mr. Han is running on one leg. It must be the stigma named Wine-Lage Sweep Horse. Should it be the stigma of the Constellation? That stigma is the power that the incarnation receives from the sponsor, and is different from the skills that the incarnation can acquire on its own. For a moment I was silent. He realized something. Why did I just remember now? Those two are not characters that appear in novels. It's no wonder they didn't come out. The zombies began to attack. Dozens of zombies are now surrounded. I started to be cornered, continued to fight with the knife I was holding. I'm starting to think I can't cross the bridge alone. Did I take one of these evil humans with me? No. The probability of success is too low. The time to complete the scenario left 15 minutes 23 seconds. I kept getting beat up. Dokja saw that, said you are very persistent now. Are there any constellations that want to help this pathetic incarnation? God, no one wants to help. How pathetic you are. I'm getting cornered, up to the end of the bridge. I thought to myself, damn, am I going to die here? If only I had the fighting skills at a time like this, I wouldn't have any trouble. Suddenly, the system screen appears. Bookmark exclusive skill has been activated. Suddenly, I was surprised to see that the bookmark character has been activated. Bookmark slots available. Displays a list of available books. You can see 3 slots there. The first is Delusional. Demon Kim Nam-won understanding 25. The second Steel Sword Lee Hun-sung's understanding is 25. The 3 slots are empty. I thought back. Even though I've read 3,000 chapters of novels, I've never seen this skill. But my instincts know how to use this. Activate bookmark number 1. The system screen starts to react and opens understanding of Kim Nam-won. Book 1 has been activated. Low-level bookmark skill activation time has been shortened by 1 minute. Your understanding of the character is low. Only part of the character's skills have been activated. With the knife in my hand, I started moving to activate blackening level 1. Once activated, I can now use Nam-won's skills. Then, Nam-won attacked with his skill. I dodged it and gave 1 slash that fell immediately but fell over. I don't want to die. I'm just speechless seeing this situation. Your understanding of Kim Nam-won's character has increased. Bookmark 1 has been deactivated. Using the copy skill I have, Nam-won's skill managed to overthrow him, but there are still a lot of zombies there. I'm overwhelmed and starting to get desperate. Suddenly there was an explosion behind the crowd of zombies. The zombies' gazes turned back. Seen someone is walking while uprooting zombies that attack. I saw him smile. Finally you came too. Sharp eyes, a tall and burly body, continued to walk through the crowd of zombies. He says, "Who are you?" I know him. He panics. Damn, do I have to face this? It's impossible. Identification skills activated too much. The information on the selected character's identification turned into a summary. Identifying the name Yoo Joonghyuk, returning the 3 pro-player gamers, there are many attributes and skills that he can use. Joonghyuk suddenly strangled me for no reason and immediately dragged me to the edge of the bridge. I think in the story of the novel, he is a living witness to this storyline. The protagonist who started the great tragedy of the world, the most dangerous character at the beginning. Her nature was greatly perverted after returning for the 3rd time. Joonghyuk was a returner from this scenario. Now he is back for the 3rd time. Joonghyuk asked, "What is your name?" "My name is Kim." Strange name. He immediately lifted my body and punched my stomach and body firmly. "Looks like you already know how to use coins." Joonghyuk punched again, but this time I held him back. I laughed, looking a bit defiant. "Take care, Yoo Joonghyuk." Suddenly Joonghyuk surprised. Why do you know me? Yoonghyuk's character is wary of you. I answered, of course, because if you're a pro player, I'm your fan. Yoonghyuk, while suffocating, I said again, I just heard it again. But even if you're my fan, your situation won't change? I only have one question. How did you survive the train and escape the scenario? I answered, will you let me live if I answer? I know her character because I'm the only novel reader. From his expression, I knew what he was going to do to me. He would be reluctant to finish me off. Suddenly, the system appears. Your understanding of the character Yoo Joonghyuk has increased. Your understanding of the chosen character is already very high. You have completed the skill requirements for the second-tier Omniscient Reader viewpoint. Do you want to activate a unique skill? I activate it. With this skill, I can now tell what someone is talking about in his heart. I know the words inside Yoonghyuk's heart that said, only Lee Hyun should have survived. How can anyone else live? Who exactly is this person? If it gets in my way, then I have to kill it. I smiled and said, so you want to know how I survived? I kill insects. Hearing that Yoonghyuk wonder, in his heart he said, what can it be done? It looks like the future will change completely. Unlike the past, I killed the people on the train with an explosion and continued like that as a rookie. He is too calm, he can adapt quickly. Could he be the one who killed Kim Nam-won? I said, if you're done asking quickly, let me go now. Let's go together in peace. We don't have much time left. Yoonghyuk's eyes reacted. I know that. Damn that eye skill. A skill that could reveal characters as well as reveal hidden info from a person. This is the most powerful type of investigator skill as soon as my system reappears. New skills acquired. Fourth wall unique skill has been activated. Was identifying the investigation skill with his eyes. Suddenly Yoonghyuk's skill was blocked and cancelled by my new skill. Lee Hyun was surprised to know that. He was a little panicked. Who are you? Remaining time 2 minutes 14 seconds. I replied, now it doesn't matter who I am. I know you need a friend you can trust. Don't you realize that you can't complete the 46th scheme alone? Hearing that Joonghyuk more and more curious. How could I know? Don't tell me you're a regressor. The regressor is someone who retells the life he lived. Because of that, a regressor knows future events. Yoonghyuk uses his skill again. Yoonghyuk's character uses skill detection. A skill that can tell someone's honesty. Detector proved what he said a truth. After checking it himself, Yoonghyuk noticed something. Suddenly he was shocked. He is not a regressor but a prophet. It's impossible to have a Korean prophet in the novel. This type is the only attribute that can see the future. I said, Yoonghyuk, I know you have a special power to see the future, but you also realize it's not perfect. Therefore, make me your friend. I can make up for your lacking parts. Yoonghyuk hesitated, he thought. In his heart said that a prophet will indeed help me, not only for the 46th scenario, but can help fight the jerk. But can I believe it? I am not sure. The time to complete the scenario left 50 seconds left. Yoonghyuk is still thinking. 40 seconds remaining. All right, I'll make you a friend, while choking me. Yoonghyuk walked over the bridge. The excessive pressure has weakened your mental strength. Exclusive skill has been deactivated. In the end, they managed to cross the bridge, but Yoonghyuk still doubts. The figure of the Ichisaurus now appears. I am now above the monster's open mouth. I said, let me go, asshole. Listen to me. Firstly, I'm not your subordinate, so I hope you treat me fairly. Second, I will cooperate with you. But you must also promise to cooperate with me.
For a moment, Yoonghyuk was silent. He said, if you are really a prophet, you should already know about your own future, right? Joonghyuk then released his grip on my body. I was dropped. Damn, he actually did this, you crazy bastard. I was then devoured by the monster. You failed to complete the schematic. Now in the stomach of Ichisaurus, I woke up and saw many dead people swallowed by this monster. In my heart, I'm very upset, you crazy psychopath. Just you wait. I will survive from here, and will become strong enough to rival you. Until finally, you will have no choice but to accept me as a comrade. A message from the system appears. You have failed to complete the schematic. Payment will start. 100 coins deduction for channel usage fee. Addition of 100 points from the Constellations. Judge of Fire accepts your choice. Addition of 100 coins. I calmed down while continuing to think. Before long, there was a shock. I also realized something. I know this according to the story of the novel. The Isosaurus started secreting stomach acid about 3 hours after eating its food, meaning I didn't have much time left. Not long after, a voice was heard. It's a shame the situation turned out like this. This is very interesting. It turns out to be Dokja. I said I've been waiting for you, Dokja. Now you have to take my coins because I failed to complete the scenario.
Dokja laughed. What did you say? Why only coins instead of your life? I replied that my life is worth it. The failed sentence in the scenario is death, right? Isn't that still room for negotiations? It's really interesting. Even though with just a small clue you can immediately come to such a conclusion, it's only fitting that you attract the attention of the Constellations. All right, I'm asking for 5,100 coins. That way I'll let you live. I'm panicking because my coins are just right to pay for this stealth. I started to think. I said I know you. You are a low-level Dokja Bihyung. How is life as a streamer? Do you like it? Bihyung was surprised to hear that. How do humans like you realize live streaming? A message from the system then appeared. Several constellations doubted your presence. All right, Bihyung, let's talk for a while, but you have to close your channel first. Bihyung thought he was curious, then closed his channel broadcast. Now tell me, how does a mere mortal like you realize about Star live streaming? Star System's live streaming is a broadcast designed to broadcast content throughout the universe. The subscribers are the constellations above the galaxy, the actors are all humans, and the streamer, linking the two, is the Dokja. I said, Bihyung, don't you want to be the king of the Dokja? Do you want to surpass the rest and become the greatest streamer of all? I put my hand out for a handshake. Dokja, sign a contract with me. I will make you the king of the Dokja. Unfortunately, he immediately laughed at that. You were really crazy. I should have known you were crazy when you rejected the sponsorship of all the constellations who liked you. I didn't choose any sponsors when the first scenario was over. I don't know how you know about live streaming stars, but I can't accept this offer. Dokja cannot be sponsors. I replied, It seems you have misunderstood. I don't need your power. What I need is your channel. I want to sign an exclusive contract with your channel. I want stream contract stream. The contract is a contract between the Dokja and the constellations. The incarnation will appear on certain channels, and the Dokja will receive a certain amount of coins generated by the incarnation as a commission. Normally, the incarnation in question couldn't intervene in this contract. It started to get angry. I don't know how you know that, but how dare a lowly human like you ask for a stream contract? Keep calm, I replied. I will be very precious to you. As you know, I don't have sponsors, and I also know streams are divided into two categories. One is incarnation stream, which is looking for information to sponsor, and the other is fan cycles, where viewers join the channel to kill boredom. You need to satisfy at least one of these two categories to become a popular channel. Could it be that you don't understand this? No wonder your subscriber count is small. Starting hooked with me, annoyed Bihyung. Shut up, you human. Quickly tell me your plan. I'm back to talking. What if your channel could satisfy both categories? Am I not going to give an interesting spectacle? Just imagine an incarnator like me who doesn't have a sponsor running the scenario. What if the incarnator's abilities exceeded the sponsor's expectations? Wouldn't that be interesting? The Dokja started to think, don't joke around, it's impossible. Ordinary humans can win against because it is sponsored. That's the rule in this world. I replied, if you don't believe me, I'll bet that right now the constellations are in an uproar asking you to open a channel. They must be curious and wondering who is the person who dares to fight against someone like Yoo Joonghyuk. Just follow my words. I will make you the king of the Dokja. He then checked the channel for a moment. He thought, let's finish your failure scenario first. But before that, pay me 5,100 coins. Quickly open the channel. This scenario will start soon. Suddenly, Dokja was surprised that the scenario notification had appeared by itself, written, Commander Slayer Hidden Scenario, Category A+, Completion Conditions: Kill the Commander and escape from his stomach, 10-day time limit reward 900 coins, if failed will die. Dokja started a live stream. He opened his channel and sure enough the constellations were excited to see me. Dokja's expression looks pitiful. Dear constellations, please calm down. There was an error on the server earlier. I swore I wouldn't close it on purpose again. See, now I'm staring at a system screen where it's Dokja. I threatened Bihyung and made him open case shop from streaming. I can't believe I can do this before the channel opens. I have to prepare the things I need. I chose Ancient Dragon. Bi-young was surprised. How did you know about the Ancient Dragon? Ancient Dragon is an item in the form of a heart that contains the magic power of the Ancient Dragon Ignitus, which has almost infinite magic power, and the Hellfire attribute will be obtained if the transparency of the heart is successful. Now find me also Great Sword Force. Again, damn, how did he know all those names? He said, okay, you bought 4 spec books and 4 rounds, now what is such useless stuff for? I replied, you don't need to know and just see. You have used 800 coins. Dokja says, now you can't exchange it. One of the constellations was interested in my plan. Meanwhile, the other constellations were starting to get angry with my actions. The Dokja said again, I hope you don't forget I haven't agreed to your offer yet. I replied, I know we agreed to negotiate the terms of the contract, only after I completed this scenario successfully. Well, do your best to finish this scenario. You really are a shameless bastard. May the story bless you. Channel by 7623 is open now. I have to do a punishment scenario where I have to kill the monster that swallowed me, and I have to make it out alive. Before running the scenario, I already bought some items from the Dokja shop. I bought 6 kinds of items. I started to think, all right, there's not much time left until this monster's stomach acid comes out. I immediately took out the mucus in the bag that looks like a slimy liquid. I immediately covered Tron with the wrapper, and not long after, stomach acid came out. The substance immediately digested and destroyed everything in the stomach. I started to act. I plugged the throne which had been smeared with mucus into the acid secretion channel. I kept doing that while moving around avoiding the acid. A few days passed. The ichthyosaurus started to hurt. I just kept doing that every day, and my face now looks pale. Damn it. How long has this been? All I can do is this. I'm just a reader and not the main character. Are you okay in this world? You can see that stomach acid is no longer coming out. Some constellations admire your will to survive. Constellation has sponsored you 100 coins. Dokja then appeared near me, who was already weak. He said, you are really good at using Stone Hope turn like that. I never even thought about it. I then lay down and the Intosaurus monster was defeated. Hidden scenario has been completed. You get 9,000 coins as compensation. You are the first person to successfully kill Class 7 species. You get 1,000 coins as achievement reward. Meanwhile, Dokja is still confused about how Dokja killed this monster. Spines of a small sea species creature that inserts its tiny spines into the skin of its prey. I didn't think that it would be used to seal up the digestive juice's opening and injure it. Some constellations smiled as if they already knew. Some constellations belatedly comprehended judgment. Dokja's still curious. He approached me. I didn't even know Hammer the Horse Mucus was so strong. I heard it inside saying, of course I know all because I'm the only novelist. Before I attack using these thorns, I splash the remaining mucus on my skin and clothes, and I absorb life force through these thorns to quench thirst and hunger. My level had risen while doing that, I told Dokja. This mucus is immune to digestive juices, so I wasn't hurt too much. Footwall's exclusive expertise has relieved some of the pain. The scenario is over. Dokja. Now look happy. You really are an interesting person that is a great way of survival. The response from the constellations was amazing. I then destroyed something that had the core of a monster in it. I took it and set an item called Broken Fate. The Dokja was again shocked hearing that. Who exactly are you? It didn't take long for Dokja to see lots of good responses on his channel. He was very happy. Dear Constellations, let's take a quick look at the advertisement before we move on to the next scenario. Bi-young and I started negotiating again. He offered a contract stream letter. It says that I, called Gap, will sign an exclusive contract with Bi-young, which says I can't choose a sponsor until the end and can only broadcast on Bi-young's channel. Income ratio. Based on the agreement, I, who finished reading the contents of the contract, said, what is this? I do not agree with the profit-sharing ratio, which is 50-50. What do you think I am? Dokja replied, that was the standard ratio for payouts generally. Dokja get 50% coins from donating constellations to incarnations. I replied, have you forgotten I'm an unsponsored incarnation, and I know the constellations have to pay the Dokja a heavy fee for an unsponsored incarnation. Have you not enjoyed my many blessings? Suddenly he was surprised to hear I know that. Fine, I want 0 to 10. You will only get the commission? I will not pay you a dime for dokebi. Plus annoyed, that's a fucking ridiculous deal. 8 to 2. I can't offer much more than that. I casually said, I don't want to. Quickly decide the commercial is almost over. Dokebi is annoyed. Notifications appear Rossi complaining about long ads. Dokebi is getting dizzy, I said. And there's one more. Before we start the contract, you have to give me a separate payment, giving me 5,000 coins. Dokebi was getting irritated. My system then crashed. The dokebi tried to interfere with the system. Exclusive skill activated. The dokebi knew this. I managed to survive in the end and return to the outside world. Inside, I said it's been 4 days since I smelled the air outside. My initial target was 2 days, but in fact it's 4 days. It's the same as Song-hyuk. Most importantly, to think I would sign an exclusive contract with such a good dokebi. My real life became extraordinary because I was the only novel reader. Part wall exclusive skill activated. I started walking. It seems I passed through a barrier in the second scenario, which was badly polluted. Be careful with your breathing and move underground as fast as you can. I panicked. My body began to be polluted. You have been exposed to the poison mist. The constellation Black Flame Dragon smiled sinisterly. Damn, it's already started. I have to catch up quickly. Maybe I'm too late. It looks now an empty city with a poisonous fog covering the area. Gigantic monsters are also in this area. I immediately made my move. I already memorized the storyline. In a mini-market. Empty. I also collect food supplies while biting something in my mouth. A named item that can be used as an air purifier substitute for 20 minutes. I guess this is enough. I brought some food bags. I was about to go out and saw a woman wearing a mask asking for help. Without thinking, I carried him while running. I said to myself, looks like I'm too late. The Oxo station has been demolished. The nearest station is Gyeho Station. I have to go there another 100 meters. When I got there, the station door was closed. I looked for another door and everything was closed. Soon I found a door that had just been closed. I immediately blocked it. Please open the door here. Someone is injured. You can't go in there. Go in here, it's full. I was annoyed. I immediately opened it. Toxic. Mist entered. The people there ran. I closed it again. You are entering the safety zone. Put this in your mouth. It won't cure completely, but it can neutralize the effects for a while. I saw that woman. In my heart, I felt something strange about this woman. I will try to see it with the identification skill. Have not had time to see it. A group of people came to me. The prisoner of the golden constellations scowled at the appearance of the uninvited people. The boss of the pack says, "Who are you and who is this woman?" Someone from behind whispered, "The boss knows him. Boy, leave that woman to us and your food too, and I'll let you live." I'm pissed. I thought the world was starting to change. Crimes will happen because the world has been destroyed. Angry with the injustice that occurred. Bounty scenario was inevitable. This happened at the request of the constellations. From this situation, I got additional scenario from Rossi. Written bounty scenario remove distraction. The constellations feel great anger at the intruders blocking the movement. Quickly you neutralize them. Time limit 5 minutes. ? Failure compromise. I started to get up. The boss of the group wore rings on all fingers, clenched his fists and said, "You are so confident in your abilities. If you don't run now, you will die." Without further ado, I immediately pointed to it to bounce away. I beat the other members too easily. I think the level of muscle strength and agility from my current body status is 33. Their skills are below mine. I will definitely win, but it would be a different story if the constellations helped these people. I stood before him, identification skill activated. They are a group of survivors. For a moment I thought, as far as I know, according to the story in the novel, these stupid men at Gembo Station should have been killed by Yoo Joonghyuk, but why are they still alive? Bang then bluffed. I replied, "Who are you? Are you from that category? You must have killed someone, right?" Suddenly I was shocked. He remembered the incident on the train, the footwall. I immediately stabbed his hand. "Who told you to talk? Why are you bullying other people? Is it because the bank instinct is silent in your heart?" I said, "Damn, why did I just realize the world has changed? He is just a human desperate to survive in this new world." Constellation. The smile freeze is very happy, then sponsor you 100 coins. I saw the Rossi's comment. The Rossi is famous for being meticulous towards his incarnations. He enjoys using idiots as his incarnation, and would enjoy watching them get destroyed by another's incarnation. I then finished them easily. You have met the requirements to complete the scenario. You get 300 coins, Smile Price is satisfied and sponsors you 100 coins. I took the woman back. She said, "Show me where the Koldo group is." I continued walking until I reached the crowd of people inside the pimp station, where the survivors from the first scenario had gathered in that area. In the middle of the crowd, I saw someone. Sang Ah, from afar, also saw him. Oh my gosh, it's Kim. I then returned to meet with colleagues while on the train. Seen Sang Ah and Lee Hyun. I'm really sorry that time for leaving you. It was an unavoidable situation. I'm glad that Joonghyuk's words were true, that I might still be alive. But it's a shame he left this station yesterday. I'm starting to think seems like he's in a hurry now. I know why people who should have died at Joonghyuk's hands are still alive. Because Joonghyuk hastily left Gaeho Station for a long time. Yoo Joonghyuk is a person who repeats his same life in the third round. He must have gone a long way without looking back to achieve his goal. Amidst the atmosphere, a group of people came carrying weapons and surrounded me in the crowd. "Mr. Han," he said, "that's him, get rid of that person. He is a very cruel man, he shouldn't be here." Suddenly everyone was surprised by Mr. Han's behavior. Someone held his shoulder. "Calm down, Han Hyung. Everyone survivors should get along. Nice to meet you. My name is John and Ho. My name is Kim." I shook their hands. In my heart I said I feel like I've heard that name in a novel. This man definitely had a sponsor. Maybe he is the leader in this place. Inho said, "I've heard stories about you. From them you fought monsters. I was impressed." He then shouted, "Everyone gather. We have brave members and bring food for us. Welcome to the station." The look in his eyes changed. I'm annoyed. What is the meaning of this? He's an annoying person. Rossi was very excited. After that, the five of them started chatting. Lee Hyun told me, "Everyone at the station now became 87 people with me. They are the survivors of the first scenario. Although they don't say that all humans here are killers. We are here now divided into two groups, the mainstream group and the marginalist group. The mainstream group consists of strong people. They determine and regulate the distribution of food. Their task is to find food outside, and the marginalist group is the weak, children and the elderly. The girl you saved was from a mainstream group that left this morning, but they didn't come back. It wasn't long before they were both approached Inho. Can we talk for a minute, Kim? Joining our group, I can offer you a high position in the group. I want to lead the group together with you, he said. I answered, if I refuse, how? In his heart, Inho said, if you refuse, then it's very interesting. I've never thought about that. Approached me, he again said, join us. I will give you a high position in the group. I want to lead this group with you. Can't you see the people here? They are starving. Back together with his comrades, he said that, do you want this food? Take one at a time. I was giving food, suddenly approached by people. They got angry and looked at me. What are you doing? Do you really want to monopolize food alone? You yourself see we are starving here. Leave the food to Inho. He will share them fairly. Inho laughed from afar. In his heart said, now, choose Kim. I share the food and become a hero, or monopolize myself and become a villain. Everyone kept shouting to quickly deliver the food. You currently enter the first scenario area, second find where the script is active, and go in this scenario. Survivors of food and life difficulties will be at stake if looking for yourself out because of the poisonous fog and monsters in the area here. I was speechless, had to make a choice. Inho saw me from afar. Mobilizing these people is easy for me. You now realize that you won't be able to survive if you don't follow me. In the middle of the commotion, Inho talk, everyone please calm down. It seems there is a misunderstanding. We will take responsibility to ensure this food is used fairly. Join me, Kim. I promise to work together going forward. I was annoyed, I thought, and made a decision. Well, I agree to share the food, but it's not free. I will sell the food. The eyes of some constellations glisten. You can exchange it with 50 coins for one food. Everyone looks confused. The animal that had fainted regained consciousness and loudly said, I agree, it's not a matter of food. This is something this guy risked his life to get. Of course you guys are not planning to eat for free, are you? I will pay from now on. Then he got to know me. Thanks for saving me. They then transferred the coins by pressing their index finger and saying the amount to be transferred. People started following my requests. Calm again. The next day, panicking because my food had run out, Inho came out. He talks to everyone from today I will limit the food ratio from 1 pack of biscuits to 3 biscuits per person. Suddenly everyone was shocked. What do you mean? How can we survive with that kind of food? Aren't there a lot of mainstream members who are outgoing food scouts? Inho replied. That's true, but the reconnaissance team only a few came back alive. Kim, I said something good yesterday, that nothing is free in this world. If you want food, then trade it for whatever we think is valuable. Thank you, Kim. I have said a good thing. Inho's character uses the skill inside level 2, and apparently last night people from the mainstream group bought half of my food supply. Everyone is angry at me now. I can't do anything. Inho then resell the food at a high price. Everyone had to obey. Starting to think, I told my comrades, do you still have leftovers from yesterday's food? Eat it up. We'll find another way. I then stood in the tracks of the train. I thought if we look for food, get out there, we will surely die. Don't tell me you intend to go there. For a moment, I looked at the mainstream group. He said, do you know a man with a limp? It was the person who attacked me yesterday at the supermarket. Don't you dare touch it, as I will kill it myself. I, who was curious about what he said, then activated the identification skill. Written name Young Haiwan, has no sponsors, crocheting personal attributes, demons playing exclusive skill figure, kendo skill. Seeing her character, I realized something, Young Hyun. This woman should be destined to die. If I die too, he might be a strong candidate based on his background. Was he supposed to be listed as a character in the novel? I don't know them. Then I saw an old man who entered the mainstream room angry. You see, they're about to send an old man as a lookout. I will stop them. Wait, what do you mean? Should we just watch? I thought to myself, the figure attribute possessed by animals is one of the attribute types that can evolve to the rare class, even legendary. I must consider him as a comrade after all. I then replied, I guess we should leave it alone. Even if we stop them, it won't solve the problem. Something like this will keep happening. The key cause of the problem is food, so we just eliminate the cause of the problem, and not long after someone appeared. How are you guys? Must be tired of waiting. The dokibi in charge of this channel is being punished. Therefore, for this scenario, I will be the one to take responsibility. I'm surprised. So it's not a Byung scene. Another dokebi came. I don't understand why Bi-hyung allowed the level of the scenario to be this low. I'll give you something interesting. Penalty scenario has been added. Food supply will be limited from now on. The pile of food will disappear as soon as the food there is mostly gone. Dokebi said again, of course it's not fun if it's just food. People system screen appears. Penalty scenario added. Observival cost has been added. From now on 100 will be deducted as observival cost at midnight. If it fails to pay the cost, observival will die. The cost observation penalty will remain until the second scenario is resolved. I shook my head. This just seems like a real way of survival. Shit, everyone panicked. The food problem hasn't been solved. Everyone's coins will be deducted by 100 every night. If less will die. Inho responded quickly. He said, everyone gather now, we need more people for reconnaissance. And in the future, we will not give food to those who don't participate. In his heart, he panicked. I already guessed it would be like this. I saw Inho thinking, maybe Inho also didn't expect it to be like this. He's probably thinking the same thing as me, that something like this would happen. The system suddenly appeared. You have read accurate thoughts, Inho. Your understanding of Inho characters has increased. He-won asked, what should we do now? Before long, Lee Hyun also approached. Should we join the reconnaissance team as well to get some food? I have arranged a plan, he replied. No, if we go there, we will die without exception. The world has changed. The food must also change. For a moment, he looked at the carriage passage and said, now let's hunt monsters. The 5 of them then decided a different path from the others. Inho realized that it required me to bring one of his team. In my heart, I thought Inho would be against this. But in fact, he looked relieved when I left the group. The system notification appears again. Your understanding of the Inho character has increased and reached a certain level. Looking at the notification from the system, I realized something. The notification from this system appears in two different cases. The first is when you like and earn the character's trust. The second is when I can accurately guess what the character is thinking. The level of understanding increases if any of these methods are met. My partner and I start walking down the railroad tracks, and Mr. Han becomes the one to be included with the team. I saw that he was very scared and kept hiding behind Sang-ah. Lee Hyun whispered, "Will Mr. Han be all right?" I said, "Leave it alone. He won't be a threat and won't help either." Along the way they chatted about their lives. I told you a few days ago, the world we live in has changed completely. Normally women and children would be physically weak, but now anyone could become stronger by increasing their stats, even possessing skills and attributes. He then sat down and took out magic from his hand. The skill formed a light and headed for an insect, Gil-young said. My attribute is an insect collector. I can communicate with insects. Gil-young's character activates diverse communication skills. Gil-young says 100 steps ahead is safe. Lee Hyun said, "Let's move. But this place is too dark." Suddenly those who are here have an additional scenario. A new sub-scenario has arrived, written hunting monsters that can be used as food and cooking them. Compensation 500 coins. Unknown failure. After that they kept walking until they found a lot of dead monsters. I know him. In my heart I said, this is a Class 9 ground species underground monster. They are underground piranhas, determined hunters who burrow into the ground and always flock to target their prey. They wonder, who has done this? In his heart I answered there was only one person, Yoo Joonghyuk. He definitely did this. He must have come a long way. Lee Hyun asked, "Can we use this for food?" I replied no. In written scenario, we have to kill ourselves. I made a plan. According to the novel, this should be done from the bones of the monster. After they made weapons, animals say, "Now we're like primitive hunters. You have successfully obtained your own weapon." Some constellations are attracted to human primitiveness. 100 coins are awarded. I am giving instructions. Do you guys get coins each? Then leave enough coins for tonight's survival cost and invest the rest in strength and agility. Otherwise, you won't be able to fight monsters and survive. And not long after a swarm of ground red came to attack, the food acquisition sub-scenario started. The monsters came to attack them, started fighting Lee Hyun, swinging the animal weapon that had kendo skills, started attacking Lee Gyung, giving one blow. Sang-ah helped finish them off. Their cooperation in the end finished off the ground red mob that attacked. Heewon says, "This is fun, I killed 2. Lee Hyun, I got 3, I got 4, I said. I was curious and looked at Lee Hyun's identification. Again I saw that his stats had gone up, and he had a fake starter. Seeing that I'm jealous, the starter pack is a coin pack that can be used to level up the overall stats. It's good for learning weapon training skills. No wonder he's strong. After killing the monsters, Sang-ah asked, "Now how do we cook it?" "We can't possibly eat it like this, right?" I replied. "We can't eat it right now, but there will definitely be a way to cook it." Hearing that they were confused, Lee Hyun asked, "How come you know so much? Could it be that you know something about this situation?" I'm confused to answer. Some constellations waiting for your answer. Damn, I could have said that I'm a reader of this novel, but the best answer would be to create a situation where I don't have to say anything. Suddenly, the frightened Lord Han screamed for help. His body was pulled by ground red. Sang-ah quickly held out his weapon. "Take this, Mr. Han." But it's a shame both of them were brought by ground red into the ground. Rossi hates frustrating people. Damn Han, I knew he would get into trouble. Kim Dokja and company make their way down the aisle of the train and manage to finish off the ground red mob. Unfortunately, Mr. Han and Sang-ah were successfully brought into the ground by ground red. Lee Hyun and Hee-won stood at the edge of the hole that the red crown made. Hee-won said, "Is it really okay for me and Gil-young to go there alone?" Lee Hyun replied, "They said they would send out a signal if something happened, just trust them." Gil-young and I are now exploring the ground red hole dug. Using skills from Gil-young to find a way, Gil-young asked, "Hyung, why did you deliberately let them get caught?" I was surprised to hear that. The Constellation Absolute Guide frowned. I told myself it wasn't a good idea to lie. I then said I did this due to the nature of ground red, who have a habit of keeping their prey in the same place as their treasure. Usually there is a rare item, but the way to get there is complicated. Unless you immediately follow the path of the excavations and are assisted by your skills. Gil-young replied. Hyung, are you the god of this world? Or are you the main character? Why do you know everything that happened? So your goal is to get items? Even so, I still believe in you. If you're a bad person, maybe you won't save me on the train just yet. Can we make a wish like the reward that awaits at the end like this if we succeed? Gil-young asked me. Hearing this kid's words made several constellations moved. 200 coins have been sponsored. Gil-young says, soon we will arrive. Some rice held their breath. I was astonished. I thought he was an ordinary kid, but he was more catchy than I thought. In this new world, people have their own way of adapting. That's probably his way of accepting reality. I then answered, I'm not the main character. More precisely, I like reading fantasy novels, and I've always envied the main character. We continued walking and found a mysterious box. Message from system appears. Content of sub-scenario has been updated. You have entered the treasure collection. We immediately silenced and immediately hid. Voices came from the darkness with eyes burning. The ground-red mob spawned itself. In the midst of silence, a voice was heard. This is all your fault, sang. Ah, if you didn't choose to take the train and join my car, we wouldn't be in this situation. Sang Ah is annoyed. Why are you blaming me? The two of them who were held captive continued to fight. Rasi hates Han's character. Some other Rasi also hate this argument. I heard their bickering. Annoyed, I had no other choice. I took out Tron and immediately threw it at Mr. Han. Mr. Han suddenly shocked. The Constellation prisoner of the golden headband was happy. 100 coins were given out. I looked at them and saw that he had other intentions. This is it, I said. The throne Tron leads to a portal. There the portal was destroyed instantly. Ground Red was immediately frightened. I already know this according to the story of the novel. At the edge of darkness, there is a place where the resources of dark root are abundant, so that the black flames made from it can burn. It is the essence of dark root. In the secret place of the creatures, there would definitely appear the figure of a gigantic creature with tentacles behind it emitting a black aura. Then a message appears from the system, saying Dark Scenario has been updated. Kill the Senatel has started. Now those who are here get a new scenario to kill Dark Coquette. Gil-young saw it from afar and immediately got scared. He wanted to vomit. I realized that step back, I can handle it. I told myself, I'm not surprised. All insects share a mental link with Gil-young. He must be suffering some physiological damage now. I started to move. I immediately untied Sang-ah and Mr. Han. In Dai, I'm thinking the longer the prongs of the dark root are in contact, the more the blade dissolves. This was the power of the Tier 7 species, Dark Senatel. The treasures of Ground Red are actually offerings to demon maids like Senatel. Damn, this situation is not good. I want to avoid fighting if I can. A message from the system popped up. Dark Coquettish had received help from the demon king he worshipped. Fear energy then spreads to the area. Exclusive skill has neutralized fear skill effect. I stay calm looking at it. From below, the Senatel continues to say a language we don't understand. Sang-ah suddenly said, Mother. She said mother. I wonder, geez, I didn't expect Sang-ah to understand demonic language. Character Yo-Sang-ah activated interpreter skill level 3, Sang-ah said. Yes, kept saying. Be the mother. Senatel kept saying that while pointing at Mr. Han, and suddenly his tentacles quickly entered Mr. Han's mouth. Me and Sang-ah were surprised to see that. I just realized that's what he meant. Be the mother because the demon species gives birth to its offspring through the bodies of other species. Maybe Han have something? I immediately cut the tentacles. Dark Senatel is furious. One attack was launched. My weapon was destroyed. I, while dodging, trying to think of another way this creature. Guarding the treasure chest and not being hunted now is a battle of no chance. To win, I constantly attacked. Lucky I was able to escape. I'm getting desperate in the middle of the situation. Dokja appeared. I immediately went up to him and said there should be a message for me by now, right? Quickly give it to me. Dokja wonder, how come you already know this? But unfortunately, it's not my responsibility. It's Bihyung's job. I look at him cynically. Now you're substitute for Bihyung? Can't you see the Rasis are complaining? The Dokja was shocked. The Constellations gave ugly comments. The Constellation? Golden wants you to scold Dokebi. The Constellation Judge of Fire threatens to cut his lips. The Dokebi immediately felt a cold sweat. Damn it, all right then. Just this once. I think this will be interesting. An item has been accepted from auction. An item bartered with Ichisaurus Core issued. Item Bro Convert has been obtained. Intermediary fees have been excluded because of the effect of the contract. I immediately took it, where it was a broken sword. I am now standing holding the weapon. Everyone was surprised. How come you can fight with that old thing? It's broken and can't be used, if you don't have a special skill. I looked at the monster and replied, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't already know. A light then came out of the sword after killing the Ichthyosaurus. I bought the items in the Dokebi shop. I'll use this. Energy skill has been activated. Broken fate items respond to your star energy. Blade has been activated. A magic energy now forms the broken blade part. Dark Senatel comes attacking. I start to act. I also swung my sword and managed to cut off the attacking tentacles. Inside, I said, Blade is the best weapon when fighting demon species. One swing I immediately go limp, so I don't have fighting science skills or weapon training skills. Just holding a sword. I'm not strong. I'm not a swordsman. I'm just a reader. As soon as the notification from the system appeared, I indirectly activated the exclusive attribute. The effect of the exclusive attribute? You improve your memory of the pages you have read. I went back through the pages of the novel. The monsters attacked again, but I managed to dodge. I jumped, panicking. Book exclusive skill has been activated. Immediately I landed on bookmark number 2, which was then activated. Only one part of the skill can be activated due to your understanding of the applicable character is low. I stand straight. Weapon training skill level 1. Now I copy and use skill from Lee Hyun. I start to act. I jump. One tentacle attacked. I reflexively and immediately cut according to the contents of the novel. The upper right tentacle will always attack first. After that, there will be 2 consecutive attacks, and there will be a pause. I'm speechless. That's it. I immediately moved forward and swing the sword in one stroke. With this sword, I succeeded in causing Dark Senatel pain. Senatel kept screaming. Sang-Ah deciphered the monster's language, which he said, How do you know all of his attacks? Senatel then lay down. I replied, I'm not a fighter. I just read too many books. Everyone who saw that was stunned. Dokebi said, Rasis, did you guys witness it? Am I seeing wrong? I managed to tear the body of Dark Senatel. The constellations doubted their eyes. The abyssal constellation Black Flame was glaring fiercely. Reaction: the golden headband pulled his hair as if he was happy. 500 coins have been sponsored. Coming to me, he looked surprised. Dokebi then says this is Elder Blade's sword, but not real sword. Real Elder Blade is way stronger than this. You are right, but unfortunately you have to throw this away because now the sword is just broken fat which absorbs energy and forms a sword. Awesome, this guy is on Bihung's channel. Sword durability has been exhausted. This item is no longer available. When the scenario is completed, you have fulfilled the conditions to complete the subscenario. You get 500 coins. Many constellations admire your method of resolving this scenario. Dokebi asked, By the way, are you not going to kill that thing? He is alive. If you do, you will be the first person to kill in level 7 man and I will give you 7,000 coins. I replied, I have an ideology of not killing. I'm not someone who can kill easily. Rossi Judge of Fire full of admiration, 100 coins awarded. Plotter Secretion Constellation Sly Smile, 100 coins got. In the middle of the situation, without thinking, Mr. Han then killed Dark. Mr. Han laughed heartily. Now I can be strong too, feel it, Kim. I, Han Myung, is the strongest person. Oh, someone like you will never come out on top. You have to understand that, said Han. He then laughed slyly. I was shocked. In my heart I said, you stupid man, why did you kill him? A new problem will appear in the level 7 menu. Dark Senatel is killed, and King Asmodeus has become aware of the killer's presence, and will chase the one who did the final attack until their death. Asmodeus had placed a curse on the one who made the final attack. Knowing that notification, Mr. Han immediately became silent. He sat limply. I already knew that, in his heart. He says, I didn't kill him on purpose. The devil's servants worship a different demon lord and inherit some powers from the demon king through Dokebi. So killing his servants was the same as receiving a curse from their king. The demon king Asmodeus's curse was the most terrible. The Constellation group admires your cunning and recommends you on Startstream. After the fight with Dark Senatel, they now see a box. There I smiled broadly. Let's see the prize together. Sang-ah got magic power recovery brushlet, and Gil-young got all iron. I think the value of this item is lacking. It's probably because the protagonist passed through this place yesterday and stole most of the good items. I opened another chest to see an item called a magic power stove. I took it. Everyone then gathered. I seem to know a bit about its uses. I then grilled beef from Ground Red. Both Ah and Gil-young were tempted by the smell. The three of us then ate together. The abyssal constellation, Black Flame Dragon, swallowed its saliva. 100 coins were handed out. Master Han shamelessly approached while carrying the meat. He says, "I don't know why I told you that before. I must have gone mad." I immediately said, "Eat and don't worry about anything else." In the middle of eating, Sang-ah asked, "How do you know all this? You even know how to cook the meat of a beast we've never seen before." "I'm confused," Sang-ah said again. "Of course, because you like reading fantasy novels, right?" "I can already guess. By the way, why did you glance at the box earlier? Do you also know what's in it?" I replied, "I don't know. It's like a random box." Deep down I already knew because I'm the only reader of novels. I knew the box was called Heavenly Madhuri. Yoo Joonghyuk, who left this place, left only a magic store because he didn't know about this item. In fact, the true treasure of Ground Red's collection was this box. The four of us then stood in front of the box. In my heart, I said, "Just like in a novel, there will be certain items that we can get if we put an item in it. How about I put the nucleus that I cut from the Dark Centipede along with the broken, and then put the two items?" The Dokja then appeared. He wondered why the item was here. It should be banned. The instant the box glowed, Dokja realized something. He was shocked. "I really don't understand why that item is here." The broadcast ended. The Dokja immediately closed the channel. A message from the system appeared. A sword-type item had been rewarded for placing an item of a similar type. The random draw has started. The items placed on the box. Both are related to a certain constellation, allowing items connected to this constellation to appear has increased greatly. I told myself, any item from worst grade to SSS grade could appear. But please, hopefully it's an upgrade or higher. The box then emits a bright light. A top grade item has appeared. The item box's random number is now 0. I opened it. Where the contents of the box is a sword. Item information. A Kaizenik hero sword that can manipulate ether and successively add strength and stamina by 2. "I can't believe I got that item," I said. "May I have it?" Sang-ah replied, "Of course. You deserve it. Keep it well. You get a relic star owner of the relic." "Someone was curious about you," I also said in my heart. I didn't expect to get a star relic grade item that was ranked above an alphabet grade item. I then said to everyone, "Okay, if it's done, let's go back." After that, me and the group decided to come back. I said, "Let's get out of here." Gil-young replied, "There are no more bugs here now, but I'll give it a try." Gil-young with his skill summoned insects, but suddenly he felt something different. His body was uncontrollable and he was bleeding from his nose. The vibrations felt from above quickly. I woke up Gil-young. He said there was a giant monster running above. Gil-young apparently called the king of insects. They panicked. I asked Gil-young to stop the skill. The shaking finally stopped. Gil-young regained consciousness. I say we wait a little longer. When a small insect appeared, Sang-ah replied that just to come back I could replace Gil-young. I have a thread skill. I already tied a thread when I was kidnapped. They finally walked out following Sang-ah's thread. I asked, "Excuse me, may I ask a question? What are your attributes?" Sang-ah silent, did not want to tell. "I got it," I said. "Great, no problem. In the future, do not let others know about your personal attributes. It is possible that he made some kind of contract with his sponsor, not to divulge information." I analyzed this is the thread for escaping from the labyrinth. Obviously, this is the stigma given by the sponsor. I, who was curious about using the identification skill, at that time was currently gathering information about a suitable figure. I'm surprised that the contents of this note are different. I've never seen this in a novel. On the way, Bi-young appeared. Damn, that bastard Brio messed up my channel. "How are you all? Are you doing well while I'm gone?" Bi-young then followed us. Up there, we immediately gave the ground red meat to the animals and Li-hyun. Bi-hyun and I can now have secret conversations that only the two can hear, which is called communication. While continuing to walk, Bi-hyung says, I heard you did great things while I was away. I just got a warning because the ad is taking too long. How did you know that random box is a remnant of Black history? Hee-won tell me. Did you get much stuff there other than Magic Power Stove? I said of course I got some items like the one Lee Hyun was holding. Apparently the shield was given to Lee Hyun. Lee Hyun looks very happy. Lee Hyun-suk's character feels a little loyal to you. Those who kept walking eventually returned to the station. The people there were all panicking because they had 20 minutes left to pay for the survival cost. 100 coins will be deducted every night. If less coins die, everyone who has less coins starts to lose out. Seen a mother who asked everyone to give a little coin for her child. Someone was looking for his brother who didn't come back when he joined the scouting. The mainstream team answered sarcastically. Are you sure your brother is on the team? He isn't. Just look for yourself, exit. The animal that saw it got angry. A message from its system popped up. The animal character attribute is about to bloom. In the middle of the hot atmosphere, and Ho came and approached me. He said, I'm you back in time. Come to think of it, you have a lot of coins. No, can you help them? Are you just going to wait and watch and Ho's character activate the skill inside level 2? Hearing that, everyone who panicked looked at me. They started whining for coins. Inho just laughed from afar. I was annoyed and started to think. Right now there are about 20 people who are short on coins. If I give them coins, I will lose 2,000 coins. But if I don't give coins, I'll be a big bad guy at the station. What an irony. In the first scenario, they trampled on other people's lives, and now they can't take responsibility for their own life. Bi-hyung laughed. This story is getting interesting. Just a reminder that there are 10 minutes left. I was silent for a moment. He took a stand. Her eyes changed. I said, So you guys want coins, but why should I give them to you? Hearing my answer, Inho laughed. Expected me to say that, right? In the first place, you sell food to earn coins from them. You should have more coins than others, right? Everyone is provoked. They are urging me to return their coins. Inho said again, I will give you one last chance. Return the coins to them, or I will kill you and take all your coins. I insist. I do not want to give. The mainstream gang then attacked me. I pulled out his sword and immediately cut off the hands of those who attacked. Seeing that suddenly, everyone panicked. With a different look in my eyes, I said, How pitiful. Actually, all of you already know that it's not me who's wrong. You're just afraid of them, right? You know that it's the mainstream groups that are at fault, but you can't fight back because they are strong. You guys are shaking because Inho has a lot of coins. Do you realize why they have higher stats and have lots of coins? Because they are bandits. Inho's surprised to hear that. What are you saying, people? Inho replied, You know I don't have many coins. I only sell some of my stuff. I interrupted. When I arrived at the station, there were a total of 87 people alive, but now there are 50 left. Someone said maybe it was because those guys went out as scouts and got killed by monsters. Do you guys believe that? Why is it that only the marginalist groups die? And why are the bastards always the ones who come back and become stronger? You guys heard it before. They say if you kill me, then all the coins will be theirs. How do they know they can earn coins by killing someone? Constellation. Prisoner of the golden headband, pleasure to pull his hair. Everyone now turns to attack Inho. He says, I told you 7 minutes left till the time limit. People are getting panicked. How come you can do that to us? Damn you, I shouted. If you weak people still have pride, fight with your own hands. At least try to take back what was taken from you. Can't answer anymore. Absolute guide Constellation marks in Ho's character as a bad person. I am standing in front line. He says if this is reality, this is the kind of world you have to live in. Everyone was burning with emotion. The people at the station end up fighting each other. Murder is no longer inevitable. I keep attacking with the sword. Animals beside me. I told you, didn't I kill this bastard? He then released an aura from within his body. All the evaluation requirements of the clothing figure attributes are in accordance. The attribute of Yoonghee-won's character is blossoming. The look in his eyes changed. The attribute of Yoonghee-won has blossomed to be the judge of destruction level of heroine. Looking at the animal, I thought, did he really just get the heroic alignment? One of 3 possible outcomes from the judge. Hee-won told me, back off. Defeating these people is my job. Now Yoonghee-won's character will not hesitate to become your sword. Hee-won starts to act. He closes his eyes and feels the energy in his body. Jung Hae-won's character activates an exclusive skill for objectment from the energy that comes out of his body, forming a balance. The balance reacted, and the weight of all the constellations of Absolute Guard agreed to use this skill. Hyewon stood tall. He was surrounded by mainstream gangs. With his skills, animal sword slashes toppled the mainstream people one by one. Everyone fell silent seeing this carnage. Hyewon easily defeated all of them, and raised his weapon right in front of Inho's sprawled face. Inho was silent. He wanted to speak, but Hyewon immediately finished him off, blood splattered. Sudden silence. All the constellations felt great joy. After that, a notification from the system appears. Survival costs every night will begin to be collected. The people who were short on coins were all wiped out. Those who could pay for the conservatism could only endure a feeling of dread. They saw the people around him being wiped out. After that, the animal sat limp. I quickly approached him and held out my hand. "Wake up! This scenario is only the beginning of what's to come." Animals can only cry. The clash of survival penalty will remain until the second main scenario has been completed. You are currently in the second main scenario. Move frequently to the place where the main scenario is active. The next day, another 5 people managed to survive the dark night at Geho Station. I and the group were ready to go back down the aisle of the train. Hyewon said to the survivors, "Are you sure you won't come with us?" They said no, thank you. We will walk separately. We also have some coins left over from yesterday. My group started moving again. The remaining 5 survivors besides us at the station. They are the ones who made it through the massacre. They will find a way to live on, and the animals are now new members of our group. Mr. Hano was nowhere to be found. Now it's time to leave the station and move on to the next stage. On the way, the animals transferred 1,500 coins to me. "Why did you do that?" I asked. "I only give out too many coins," replied Hyewon. "Judge of Fire loves your friendship." I now have a lot of coins. In my heart, I thought. This morning I received a coin donation from the Constellations because of my big fight through Bi-hyung. The coins he has are 23,500. Thanks to that I was able to improve some of my skills. It seems I've been using coins to increase stats. We who continued to walk through a portal, suddenly their system screen popped up. The second main scenario has been activated. Difficulty level E, go through the tunnel and meet the survivors in first base main. No time limit. 500 coins compensation. Unknown failure. The next main base is the station, seeing that they immediately walk down the tunnel. Looks like a lot of ground red monsters to deal with. Them all the way. We who were exhausted from fighting stopped for a moment. I said, "Let's rest here." They then entered the building area. It seems the people here left in a hurry. There might be some items left behind. "Let's check," Lee Hyun asked. There was only one stop before the station. "Why don't we rest there?" I replied. "If we go there, we don't know if we can rest there or not. I think it's better to rest here. The Yatsu station we just passed is filled with ground red corpses and human corpses. Most likely it was the action of Yoo Joonghyuk. Not just a monster, he can be a threat." I then glanced at something. This is the time for personal activities. I'll be leaving for a while amidst the poisonous fog. I ran outside to a place. According to the novel's story, near the underground exit number 6. In this station there is a religious statue of Yoo Samyang. I keep running. That's what he found. Now I'm standing in front of a statue of a monk. Constellations wearing straw mati are filled with expectations for your actions. I pray there. The constellation wearing the straw man is happy with your action. 100 coins sponsored. The Dokja monitored from his system screen. What was that brat doing there? Don't try anything. After finishing praying, I instead destroyed the statue. The Dokja was shocked by my behavior. "You damn brat, the strawmate wearing constellation is confused by your actions." After that ran into the building, Dokja got angry. "Via Dokja communication, have you gone mad? You just destroyed the statue of the constellation." I ignored it, continued to eat, thinking all the statues had constellation powers sealed within them. Constellation powers such as their skills and items will be acquired when the seal is broken. Before going to Kumuro Station, skill will be required. Actually, the way to get inspiration is very complicated, so I used a shortcut by destroying it. The constellation wearing the straw man is angry at your cruel act. The constellation prisoner of the golden headband was laughing. After destroying the statues in the area, I approached my group. Huan asked, "How is your religious activity?" I answered smoothly. "I now brought something for you all. An item in the form of ancient clothing is given to the animals. You said you got it from a statue of someone really great? You're right. Have you ever heard of Samyang? Rasi wearing a straw man wants to appear in front of the unknowing animal character." Sang-ah replied, "I know I remembered his name while studying Korean history. Sang-ah is now wearing an item in his hand called Samyong and Beach. Wasn't he a monk from the Joseon dynasty when the Korean army had trouble fighting the Japanese invasion? He played a big role in the fight." Rasi, who used strawman, was touched by the words of character Yosanga. I said I believe that Samyong Dang sent these things in the hopes of saving Korea like he did in the past. After all, this country is now in a warlike state of chaos. Rasi, wearing a straw man, was touched by your words. I keep talking, so since the world has been like this, it's no wonder that items like this suddenly appear. Samyang is one of the spectators who hope to help the people of this country. The constellation wearing a straw man expresses having forgiven your great sin. It turns out that the constellation wearing the straw mate is the General Ball of Justice. I will keep that name in my mind. Razable General Happy 100 coins sponsored. I then said to everyone, "Okay, after this, make sure you continue to be careful. The next stop is Kumaro. Maybe because in the first communication, we haven't met ground red yet, but don't let your guard down. Now there is 1 kilometer left to reach the destination. On the way, a message from their system appears. Something is blocking them." I said everyone back off. A new sub-scenario has arrived. They get an additional scenario. Written scenario, buddy. Welcome prison difficulty level D to F. Escape from welcome present. 1 hour compensation, 300 coins time limit. Failure unknown. Suddenly a smoke blows towards them. They panic. What happened? I feel like I'm almost throwing up. A red mist instantly enveloped them. A mysterious figure held my face and said, "You haven't seen anything, have you? Wall exclusive skill activated. The effect of the Frisian welcome has been cancelled. The red mist also disappears from me. I realize this, damn it. Welcome prison is a subspace that digs into a person's internal trauma. The bad effects will drive him crazy. Joonghyuk must have suffered a lot in this place because he is a member." The rest of his team were still enveloped in the red mist and affected. I screamed, "Everyone take a deep breath and calm down. Secret Constellation admires your mental strength. 100 coins have been sponsored. Curious Resis feel sorry for not being able to see your past trauma." Lee Hyun, Hyun-won, and Gil Young were uncontrollable. They didn't hear me and kept talking to themselves. But surprisingly, Sang-ah was not affected by the welcome prison effect. You can see the Samyong and Beach items he was wearing reacted. I immediately moved. Good thing that item worked. Sang-ah, please watch my rear. I will destroy this subspace. I purposely damaged the Samyang statue and got the skill just to clear this scenario. Closing my eyes, a new skill I got. Exclusive skill Destroy Evil Level 1 activated. I opened my eyes and released energy around my body. The effect of the skill instantly removes the red mist. The exclusive skill Destroy Level 1 is closed. Lee Hyun and Gil Young, who were hurting themselves, began to be awakened by Sang-ah and I, unlike the animals. He had not yet regained consciousness and pointed his sword at me. "I will kill you all," he said. "Her eyes are going red, I know that." Crap, it's a sign of a demon's skill. It seems like Samyang can't help it. I had no other choice. I then hit his neck until he fainted. "You have fulfilled the condition to complete the sub-scenario. 300 coins received." I said, "Sang-ah, please take care of the others and don't let your guard down. This isn't over yet." I moved alone. A mysterious figure in black with a magic aura radiating came towards me. I point the sword. They are Class 8 ghost species, Phantom Spectre species. This should be easy. On the other hand, Lee Hyun had woken up from his stupor. He said, "How long was I unconscious? What was going on right now?" I then approached them. That's the effect of welcome prison. But don't worry, they've been defeated. I was seen carrying an item in the form of a stone where it was a crystal spectre. A rare mystical stone obtained from the spectre's body. "How did you beat him?" I replied, "It's just a mental battle against them. So it's very easy." Gil-young soon realized and immediately hugged me. Of them, maybe this child has the worst trauma. He keeps apologizing to his mother. The animal was still unconscious and was carried to continue the journey. Those who kept walking soon saw a light at the end of the hall. Sang-ah said, "I think we are almost there." Those who kept walking then saw someone pointing his sword at them. He said, "Don't you guys know this place is our hunting area?" "My team knows her," Sang-ah says. "Isn't that girl the only survivor from Dang Girls High School? They found out about him when they saw a live stream on the train. The figure of the girl named Lee was surprised to see me holding the Spectre crystal. Did you guys really beat the Spectres?" "As far as I know, Master is the only person who can defeat them." I then looked at the identification skill, maritime sponsor, rare demon class attribute citizen. Looking at her good stats, I thought she was one of the main characters in the novel. This girl is one of the reasons Joonghyuk headed to Kumoro in a hurry. In the future, the fight that Ji-hee fought was very important for Joonghyuk. Two Constellations who saw the meeting, they said, moved by the meeting of old friends. Sponsor Lee greeted the Belt General of Justice, suddenly said, "All right, I'll take you to the station. Follow me." They then followed it. Not long after, a notification from the system appeared. The second scenario has ended. The concession will be finalized. At this time, they finally arrived at the station safely. Notification pops up instantly. Gear channel 8761 active. Beer channel 3642 active. Third scenario in progress. Now they enter into the third scenario. As I expected, the size of the scenarios grew bigger, and the Dokja channel grew as well. The people at this station were the ones who had survived through the other Dokja channels. "I've brought you guys here, so take care of yourselves from now on." I then asked Ji-hee, who wanted to go, "What is Joonghyuk? Where is he now?" Ji-hye, who was about to leave, stopped hearing that. He turned around and was about to draw his sword. He greeted me sarcastically. "Who are you?" I think, judging from his reaction, Joonghyuk has destroyed his own student. It's hard to find a constellation of their levels if I'm in Joonghyuk's position. "I won't be meeting him quickly," I casually replied. "I'm Joonghyuk's comrade who returned alive. Where is he now?" "I want to say something." Ji-hee replied, "Master isn't here. I'll look for him, then ask someone to watch over and accompany me and his team." That person laughed heartily. "Are you really Yoo Joonghyuk's friend? Pleased to meet you." They then rested. Lee Hyun asked him, "How is the supply of food and drink here?" He replies, "I'm ashamed to say it, but some people, including myself, depend on the slick monster hunting and ask Joonghyuk to cook. For drinking water, we exchange coins to the landlord aliens upstairs." Hearing that name, I realized that now the story got interesting. Moro Landlord Aliens is the name that appears in the novel. They are one of the 10 evils. Their list and ranking changes frequently according to Joonghyuk's regression cycle. They are the 10 main villains in the novel, and Landlord's aliens are the masters of armed defense in Kumaro. My group was then invited to ride around. They heard the people at the station kept talking about the room. People were looking at my team, and there were new faces. Did they come to see the room? Sang-ah asked, by the way, what room do they mean? What kind of room I know? Ji-hee's friend then pointed at 2 people who were fighting with a patch of green shining floor that read Green Zone. Beside him, he replied, "Maybe literally that small box is a room." The name of the scenario was Green Zone. Sang-ah asked again, "Why are those people fighting over it?" He replies, "You will find out soon." Later, while continuing to go up, the guy talks. The people in the 3rd floor dungeon to the 1st dungeon floor. They were small groups still in aliens. They will continue to fight for the sake of occupying a small area in the Green Zone. I then asked, "Why didn't Joonghyuk take any action? Wasn't he the one who saved you?" He replied, "Master told us to stand alone." I was surprised to know that, lately, Joonghyuk's movements are different from the 3rd regression that I know in novels. This has changed from the plot, I know. I should clearly know that gap. They kept on walking. Then arriving at the toilet area, they saw a lot of people huddled together with a group of guards. In front of the crowd said, "Please let me stay one more day. I'll be in debt to get the coins." The guards there immediately chased away the crowds of people. Gil-young, who thought it was an ordinary toilet, immediately ran through the crowd and accidentally fell and touched the Green Zone area. There, Gil-young's character invades private property. The guard there was immediately furious. "Hey, crazy child, back off quickly." "Don't you know what place this is?" Gil-young innocently replied. "Isn't this the way to the toilet?" The guard got even more angry. He approached the Gil-young, held his head and said, "Don't you learn if you can't disturb other people's land? Because you don't know, I will teach you from today." A cannon-shaped magic energy immediately appeared and headed straight for Gil-young's body. Gong Pildu character has activated armed zone. Gong Pildu's character demands 500 coins for stepping on his private land. If you don't follow the recommendations, all the turrets around will shoot immediately. The guard there said to Gil-young, "Hey kid, now give me some money or I'll kill you." I realized that it acted. I stood right there. "I'm the guardian of this child. You should instead pay 500 coins. Paying 500 coins just for stepping on his territory, so funny." As I expected, the size of this room is different. This room is spacious and can accommodate a lot of people. I then said, "Why do we have to pay? Isn't Kunguro Station a public place?" "I will give the coin, but I will give directly to the owner." I read the character of the character. "Where is he now?" The guard is starting to get annoyed. I keep screaming for Gong Pildu, "Come here, sir, and take the fine yourself." I then stepped on the green zone area. "You have invaded private property." The cannon that appeared immediately reacted and aimed at my body. Soon someone said, "Hey, you over there. If you get any closer, I'll shoot you," said a man who was sitting reading. "I've never seen you, but you're pretty brave." "He is the master of armed defense, Gong Pildu. I already know him." He casually said, "Wouldn't it be fair if I paid you coins right away? Gong Pildu's character is attracted to you." He replied, "You are quite good at talking, but it is not good to be too arrogant." Identification skill activated. The name Gong Pildu in the fans of the landlord's attribute master looks a lot of good statistics. Seeing that, I said 2 good skills and magic power is already level 19. This will be enough for him to become one of the 10 evils in the future. Pildu says anyways, "What did you come here for? I don't think your aim is to pay a fine. Who are you?" I, holding the sword, hesitated. Damn, what should I do? Should I negotiate or beat him outright? Pildu, who saw me ready to attack, said, "I warn you, don't try to do anything funny. Gang members are now surrounded." Me and my partner, who realized that, reacted and replied, "Please calm down. Isn't it obvious that I came to meet the owner as a room renter and pay a fine? Please let me and my group to live in your green zone. In exchange, I will also give you information about Yoo Joonghyuk." Hearing that, suddenly Pildu was shocked. His men reacted immediately. I stay calm. I think again. Based on the story of the novel, Joonghyuk in this third regression should have fought against the Lord's aliens. But now, what is he doing? Pildu asked sarcastically. "What is your relationship with Joonghyuk?" I replied, "We are comrades separated by life and death." Feeling suspicious, he activated his skill. Gong Pildu's character activated Prophet. With that skill, he will know the advantages and disadvantages he gets during negotiations. Pildu started asking, "Is it fortunate that I received information from you? You are just a cheater who will run away later, right?" It seemed the skill would accurately read the situation. "I have to stay confident," I then said. "Too bad it seems you don't believe me. It's a loss for you." I turned to leave. Pildu then called him. "Where are you going? You still haven't paid the trespassing fine?" The cannons over there reacted immediately and fired at me. Lee Hyun, who noticed that, quickly moved and blocked the continuous fire with his shield. I thought, I'm lucky to be protected, but the shield won't be able to block for long. The animals are also still unconscious. If left, my group is in danger. I went back to talking to Pildu. "Lord Gong Pildu, we shouldn't fight. It would be better for us not to be enemies. If you fight us, now you will die." I told Gong Pildu, "We better not get into trouble, or I'll kill you." In between the hot situation, we were both surprised by the arrival of someone with Ji Hye beside him, saying, "Master is the one. The guy pretends to be your friend." Pildu, who saw it, cold sweat. It turned out that the one who came was the regressor Yoo Joonghyuk. From afar, Joonghyuk looked surprised to see I was still alive. He walked right up to me. Casually I say, "Hi Joonghyuk. Amnesia exclusive skill activate. With that skill I can find out what someone is saying in their heart and mind." Joonghyuk kept silent, did not want to answer. I greeted him again. "How are you? You look healthy apparently." People here don't believe that I'm your friend. Can you tell them? In his heart, Joonghyuk wondered. Some constellations paid attention to Joonghyuk's character answer. The constellation demon Let's Judge of Fire observed Yoo Joonghyuk's loyalty. Without saying much, Joonghyuk immediately drew his sword and pointed at Gongpeldo. Suddenly everyone was surprised. After that, Joonghyuk, me and the team went from the crowd. I keep greeting Joonghyuk, well, it's nice to see you again. Good friends always take care of each other. No, on the other hand, Joonghyuk saw me differently, he said. So you're still alive all this time, I'm curious. Reactivate the identification skill. It can be seen that the statistics are increasing rapidly. After seeing this, I know how amazing she is. The growth rate was faster on the initial 3 regressions I know of. In the novel, what exactly is he doing who has been unconscious before, now he is conscious? Joonghyuk, who saw them, said, "You've got your own group of friends apparently." He said he chose Lee Hyun-sung in the team, but could only raise to that level. He then saw another. Suddenly he was shocked. How could that person? In his heart wondering, now who is he looking at? There's actually a lot of my team standing with what he is. If I asked him directly, he would find out that my skill can read his mind. Hwon then looked at Joonghyuk. What do you see? Joonghyuk pissed off, I'll kill him. I know that immediately changed the subject. I said, Joonghyuk. Actually, I have a question. I wonder why you let Gongpil-do live with his members. You don't need the whole group following you, do you? It's not your style. Joonghyuk replied that he was a fortune teller with a low Freknoshan level. Shouldn't you already know the answer? I answered even though it was true. But I also don't know everything, Joonghyuk. Activating the skill like detection to confirm that your words were true, Joonghyuk started to get irritated. I don't care about them. I have a lot to do. You wouldn't understand. I'm also starting to get annoyed with Joonghyuk's behavior. Can I hit you? Do you dare to do it? Replied Joonghyuk. Joonghyuk activates skill strong self-defense level 5. I know that skill doesn't dare to fight back. After that, Joonghyuk left everything, and not long after that a notification from the system appeared. There was an hour and a half left before the 3rd scenario was activated. I sat while thinking about what Joonghyuk was doing. Personal Constellation of the Golden Headband asks what you think. I was thinking about that bastard Lee Joonghyuk. Personal Constellation of the Golden is satisfied 100 sponsored coins. One who heard him said, "Who is the person you called Joonghyuk?" I answered, "Nobody." I actually thought more about how to deal with the others first. They must be stopped. They take over public facilities and make people pay. Think, who are they? Animals herded emotion. I will go exterminate them all. We can win if we work together like we did at Gemho Station. Hwon then activates the Objectment Horror skill, but the effect doesn't work. Activating skill cancelled. Hwon wonders what happened. Is this broken? Isn't it obvious they are bad people? Parasite's thinking may be different from ours. Justice is always decided by the majority, and it is in essence a requirement of your skill activation that the enemy must be considered evil at heart. I think according to the novel's story to pass this 3rd scenario, we need Gongpil-do's help. But what if he can't help? My team's weapons are also not good for fighting. How can we beat them? It may be difficult, but there is a way to defeat them. Make Gongpil-do come out of Armed John. Armed John is his exclusive skill which is best used for defense. But when he leaves the area marked with the skill, the effect will disappear. But the thing is, he won't come out of that kidney because there is a food blanket, even the bathroom. In addition, the room has the largest size. Hwon confused room. What do you mean? Message from the system appears again. There was an hour before the 3rd scenario was activated. Knowing the notification, the people at Kumoro Station started scrambling to find a room, or what we call it, the green zone. Seen 2 people ready to fight over the green zone, said, "Now we put Gongpil-do aside. Let's start getting a room first." Soon the Dokja appeared. Now can we start from the 3rd main scenario? On this 3rd day, new faces have arrived. Today, so this is going to be fun. My team and I are just getting started on scenario 3. Message and the system appears. Written the 3rd main scenario. Green zone, the 3rd day, place in the green zone in the station and survive the monsters that appear at midnight. The scenario lasts for 7 days. 1,000 coin compensation. Failure unknown. 1 hour left until the main scenario started. Dokja told my team, the rules are simple. The place is just green zone. Before other people, of course, you can snatch other people. Better hurry up if you don't have green zone when the scenario starts. You will get a bad experience. Good luck. The Dokkaebi then disappeared. Everyone at the station immediately panicked. They started scrambling to occupy the green zone. They kill each other in order to survive. Many of the victims were already dead before the scenario started. Sang-ah, who saw it, was shocked. Do we have to fight like that too? I remained calm, and then I replied, we don't need to kill. We just need to find a room that can accommodate a lot of people. According to the story of the novel, each of John's urine is different sizes, ranging from for one person to 70 people. I then gave the command now. Everyone split up and looked for a suitable room. Lee Hyun and Sang-ah went together while Hee-won and Gil-young. I'll be alone. If I don't find a room 20 minutes before the scenario starts, we'll be gathering in this place again. Heard the instructions. They immediately scattered. For a moment I looked at my cell phone and went back to reading the contents of the novel, as I thought we would never find a room. Hee-won and Gil-young kept running to find an empty room. Lee Hyun and Sang-ah also began to get frustrated because they couldn't find an empty room and only saw murders everywhere. 30 minutes until the third main scenario started, I was still relaxing while sitting and continuing to read the contents of the novel. Byung through the wound, EB Communication said, "Hey, what are you doing, damn? Why don't you move and instead stare at a blank notepad?" All the constellations went crazy with frustration with your actions. The personal constellation of the golden headband wondered, "What are you doing?" Suddenly I was surprised to know that in his heart. I was thinking, what does that blank notepad mean? Meaning parasites can't read the contents of this novel, even Dokkaebi, with a high level of authority in the start stream system, can't read this text. Novelist who immediately gave it to me. What is this truth? Soon Ji came from behind. Looks like you're quite relaxed, Ajusi, I replied. You too? Look relaxed. Jihye smiled. She says it's because no one will dare to take my room. Everyone knows I will send those who touch it to hell. I don't want Ajusi to die. You were quite impressive earlier with Master. I casually replied, Take it easy. I won't die. Not finding room doesn't mean you will die. Joonghyuk then came and asked to return to the room. Joonghyuk said to me, Whether to face the monsters, you will die. Your 4 comrades will also die. I challenged him to answer, We'll see. Soon my colleagues had come and they did not find an empty room. I remained silent, prepared a plan, then said, I have 2 ways for us to survive. The first way is an easy choice for the 5 of us. We'll be able to continue to live. The second way is very difficult, and it is likely that some of us will die. Lee Han replied, If the 5 of us survive, I will choose the first way. I then took them to the people who were already in the green zone, which accommodated 5 people. I said the first way was to kill the people in that room. They are not very strong. That's enough for us. Hearing that, suddenly they were in great shock. Who doesn't know this way what we have to kill people? Even though I have killed a lot of attacking at the Gemho station, but that doesn't mean I want to keep on killing. Lee Hyun asked, I want to know the second way, I smiled. He said, I already know your thoughts. Let's do it. The second way, everyone is happy to hear that. I continue my words, and no matter what choice you guys make, I will respect it. Because you have chosen the second way. Let's start now, even though it may sound preposterous. You guys have to believe and follow the instructions. If one of you doesn't believe, we're all going to die. The remaining 5 minutes before the scenario starts, everyone starts carrying out the plans made. They were now standing in front of the railroad aisle. They split into 2 groups. I previously gave instructions. The 3 of them remember my words. Chances are monsters will appear at the end of the hall there. The monsters will rampage from the lower floors to reach the surface. If fighting monsters will die. Message from the system appears the 3rd main scenario has been activated. Monsters started to appear. I screamed from afar. Now do it! Those who believed in me then ran towards the monsters that came just like I said. When the monsters appeared, ran straight at them, finding the green zone that appeared on the wall. There he is! Sang Ah right before the monster tore. Sang Ah managed to touch. Someone has activated the hidden zone! Isolation of the secret room has been activated. It can be seen that the green zone can be used for 3 people. Soon the animals also managed to touch him while Lee Hyun was instead trapped in a crowd of monsters. He got into a fight. Sang Ah immediately moved. He cast a thread skill. Lee Hyun's body then pulled. The 3 of them. finally are now in the green zone, moving to my situation, who ran carrying Jie Liang. According to the story of the novel, in this third scenario there are several hidden green zones. I have to find the rest. Keep running, and then being chased by the monsters, Gil-young and I are forced to fight. I said, damn, where's the other hidden? It seems a little ahead. Amidst the atmosphere, the Dokja appeared. She laughs and says it seems very interesting. Should there be additional penalties? A message from the system appears. Penalty scenarios have been added. Some existing green zones will be deactivated. The scenario gets even more difficult. The green zone there partially disappeared. Jihee's friends who were already in the zone were immediately attacked by a crowd of monsters. I look like I can take down some monsters. Damn, do I have to fight these monsters until sunrise? I'm not Joonghyuk, can I do it? Looks Gil-young also helping me to fight the monsters, he said. Hyung, you can just leave me here. I really don't understand why you are helping me and the others, even though if you are alone you will be easier to survive. Why did you make it this far? Suddenly I was surprised to hear that. He continued to fight, slashing the monsters there, and answering, You are right. I will easily survive alone. Why am I doing this? Because I remember one novel that developed in such a way. Now hold tight to me, I act, then cast a skill. Bookmark 1 has been activated. I copied Kim Nam-won's skill. With that skill, my movement quickened while I kept running. Continuing to fight endless monsters, in the middle of the fight with monsters, I then saw the hidden green zone. I immediately jumped and went there, but was suddenly surprised because there was already standing the regressor Yoo Joonghyuk. I then approached him, seeing that the green zone was only for 2 people. I saw him furious. Can't you go somewhere else? Joonghyuk coldly replied. Now I'm in danger because I'm tired. I grew furious. Damn, why did Joonghyuk know this place? I thought I was the only one who knew the green zone. What exactly happened to him? I was the one who urgently said, then take this child. We'll give the child. I then released Gil-young with Joonghyuk in the green zone. I am now forced to fight monsters with my sword as hard as I can, attacking monsters. Constellation is watching you with comfortable eyes. Joonghyuk in his heart said, I told you you will die. I who know his words feel challenged. While continuing to be attacked by monsters, I said, just watch, I won't die. I'm starting to get overwhelmed with endless monsters. I am now forced to fight the monsters. The endless number of monsters overwhelms me. Gil-young shouted, knowing my condition. Joonghyuk, who saw the fight, realized something. In his heart he said, it's impossible that just now. I'm sure this is a method you would never use. I held the specter crystal unhesitatingly, and swallowed it straight away. I was then surrounded by monsters. A light then came out in the crowd of monsters. Welcome prison has been activated. You have become ghost species. I opened my eyes, conscious and somewhere. There I saw a woman where it was mother. A dead man was seen in front of him. Suddenly I was surprised to know this because of excessive damping. I sat in pain, holding my head. This is a trauma I don't want to see. I tried to calm down. As I remember, when I swallowed spectric crystal, I turned into a ghost species for a while and would not be seen by monsters. I also knew that the side effect would cause the user's trauma to peak and even go crazy, which I didn't expect other skills to weaken. This is beyond my prediction. Now I have to wait until it fully recovers. I'm now trapped in the subconscious. Suddenly a woman appears and says, Are you Yoo Joonghyuk? I turned to him. You're not Joonghyuk. Who are you? Wonder, who is he? A blonde stranger with one eye shining. For a moment I was silent, realizing something I would panic. Could he be? I then activated the female character identification skill. Also realizing my action, she activated mental barrier level 6. But my skill can't be cancelled. The character list ignores the mental barrier. Croft's child's name is Prophet Attribute, Legend class. I know him. As I expected. She is a woman who can ignore the boundaries of space and freely enter other people's realms of consciousness. In novels, she can see the future and try to design the future of the world. I said, You're a craft hit kid, right? Suddenly he was surprised to hear that. How do you know about me? I answered, Because I am a prophet. Feeling suspicious, he used skill detection to confirm that your words weren't true. Knowing that notification I misbehaved, damn, it's hard to lie to the real prophet. Show your true identity. I remain calm. This woman might be able to enter into my consciousness due to the weakening influence of the fourth wall. I then replied, "Really, you don't know who I am? I've sent the score, don't you know it? You must have instilled power from that core, right?" Anna's getting curious about me. "What's your name?" Not finish the conversation. A message from the system appears. The effect of the exclusive skill returned. Slowly Anna's body disappeared. "Why can't I see anything from you? Who are you?" I smiled, answering, "Someday we will meet again. Wait for the time to come." Exclusive skill has been fully restored. Anna then disappeared because the effect of the immunity skill against Welcome Prison had occurred. I then fell. Damn, I acted recklessly and met Anna instead. Actually, how much time has passed? Is the scenario finished? What if I realized there were still monsters out there? My head feels heavy. Permanent exclusive skill level 1 activated. I'm already lying in the middle of comrades. I wake up. What's the scenario? Lee Hyun replied that the scenario was finished. We managed to survive. I looked around and many people died overnight at the station. I then asked where Gil-young. Gil-young looks now talking with Joonghyuk. There, Joonghyuk asked, "Is it true you will not come with me? If you come with me, you will be able to become strong much faster." But Gil-young refused. I saw that curious, exclusive skill. Audition Reader Viewpoint Stage 2 activated. In his heart, Joonghyuk says he's a lucky man to be with this kid. The attributes would be of great help. Gil-young then ran to me, who was already conscious. Joonghyuk then left, in his heart saying, "Now there is no time to delay, I have to complete the attack today." I who know his heart wonders what he meant today's attack. What is he doing? But it feels my eyes are heavy, I have to sleep. The third day ended. I was awakened by Dokaibi via Dokaibi communication. "Hey, damn it, how long are you going to sleep? Come on, get up." I woke up and lay down on the animal's thigh. He said, "You've woken up. Are you comfortable?" Lee Hyun also fell asleep there. He was delirious. In the morning of this day, the officer on duty will do his job. Soon, Dokaibi. Say again, since you're awake, take this. The response from the Razi appears. Razi is saddened by your trauma. The Black Flame Dragon constellation is interested in your past. Secret constellation, wondering about your mother. Sponsor you 1,800 coins. You have passed the night without the green zone. You have successfully completed Never Ending Down at the station. You get 1,000 coins. Coins held 22,650. The constellations know my trauma, but it doesn't matter. That the most important thing is that I hit my coin target. Hyewon asked now, "What should we do today?" "What was it like yesterday, too?" I replied, "No, it only worked for one day. There is no detailed explanation about the location of the green zone on the 4th day in the novel. I have to do that." I then said, "Today we will completely clear the third scenario. First, let's change the situation. Not long after Lee Hyun wakes up, I immediately say hello. Are you resting well? You were delirious with the night watchman." Lee Hyun replied it was just trauma as a soldier. I transferred to Unit 3 when I was a corporal. Lee Hyun's military life was never mentioned in detail in the novel. It must have been very difficult. Let's cheer him up. I'm glad Lee Hyun is here. I feel at ease when you're in the front row. It feels like I'm being protected. Her words made Lee Hyun happy. Lee Hyun Sung's character begins to feel responsible. After chatting a lot with him, I walked towards the others while whispering, "Did you see my demonstration earlier? Can you guys do it too? I want to help Lee Hyun. He seems a bit depressed recently. Wouldn't he feel better if we comfort him? I have another plan." Based on the original development in this third novel twist, Lee Hyun Sung's attributes should have developed in the station, but the evolution in the station is taken by the animals now. I don't know what Joonghyuk is planning. Plus, I have to be wary of Gong Pil-do at this time. We need to make Lee Hyun Sung's character evolve. I have to make my own scenario. However, I'm asking everyone to take turns doing this when you have time to cheer her up. They then, without hesitation, complied with my request. The saying goes, praise can even make a whale dance. Starting with the animal next to Lee Hyun, the animal said, "You are very reliable. You are like a pine tree." Lee Hyun responded, "Fine, thank you." Lee Hyun felt proud. Hyewon was even surprised. I didn't ask that. Lee Hyun immediately became depressed. Lee Hyun Sung's character felt a little dark. The others can only pat their foreheads, saying, "Ah, then came forward. He said, "I don't think I've ever met someone who is truly virtuous like Hyun." Lee Hyun replied, "To be honest with someone like me." "Never mind, thank you." Lee Hyun Sung's character begins to worry about his definition of justice. Others are getting excited. Third is Gil Young. He just gave a thumbs up and said Hyun has the best muscles. Lee Hyun Sung's character has boosted his self-confidence. To the amazement of others, it just makes him so confident. After that, a message from the system said Lee Hyun Sung's character was waiting for an opportunity to evolve his attributes. Gil Young then went to them. "Good job. And did you do what I told the others?" He replied, "Of course, ma'am. It's on the B1 floor." I thanked Gil Young and left them. I walked up and said, "All right, now let's steal other people's skills." On the way, I met a member of Gongpil-do who kept bullying me. I didn't answer and kept walking while counting the remaining green zone. There were 11 in total. Yesterday's scenario had reduced a lot. But still, it's time to start my plan. Went to floor B1. There was immediately shocked by a sword beside him, where it was Lee Ji-hai. He said, "I'm disappointed, Ajushi. Don't you know what will happen to the ladies with your plan last night? I wonder, I cannot feel his presence. Is that the so-called ghost skill? He is extraordinary in one way. I want to talk to you." Ji-hee lowered her sword and again moved unnoticed. I'm already standing in front of him. "What do you want to talk to me about?" I wonder again. "I just want to talk, but why are you standing there? Master told me to guard this place, so don't come any closer than this." I immediately thought he realized something like that. I know what Joonghyuk meant by his attack. Apparently he tried that route. Then said, "Okay, I'll stay here. I'm here because I need your help. Today I will destroy Gongpil-do's group." Ji-hye was shocked to hear that. "Are you serious?" A message from the system appears. "Your understanding of Lee Ji-hye's character has increased. I'm telling you again, there's a way to beat them, but I need your help. There will be a lot of people dying here if you don't help." Ji-hye replied, "People will die either way." I replied, "I saw a video of Moo's scenario at school. In that video you kill your friends to survive. In reality, you don't want to do that." "Stop talking," I replied. "I'm talking about you. I'm just talking to myself. I just want others to be safe. If you turn away today, you will regret the rest of your life. The conversation is over." I'm back to my comrades. Heewon say, "Is he going to help us?" I replied, "I don't know for sure. It's time and it will be more dangerous than yesterday. Are you all ready?" Excitedly, they replied, "Let's do it according to plan." Ji-hye was silent, thinking about what I said, and still didn't make a decision. 5 hours left until the third main scenario started. Before the scenario started, my team was already on the move. They are divided into 2 groups, Heewon, Sang-ah, and Gil-young. They approached the crowd already in the zone. With sharp eyes, Heewon said, "I'm really sorry." Haewon attacked them. Meanwhile, Lee Hyun and I went up to the next floor. Lee Hyun hesitated. He said, "To be honest, I wasn't sure this would work. I feel burdened. This is my first experience of being trusted." I answered it would be fine. Hyun is a reliable person. "After this is over, I want to hear your life story." Started to be confident. Lee Hyun Sung's character started to open his heart to you. Your understanding of Lee Hyun Sung's character has increased a lot. Those who continued walking then encountered a guard who was torturing someone. Lee Hyun saw that furious Lee Hyun Sung's character wanted to do justice of his own free will. Lee Hyun Sung's character will evolve. The essence of the success of this operation lies with Lee Hyun Sung. Suddenly they heard a rumbling sound. Lee Hyun and I realized the operation had started. The me who previously raised stats immediately moved quickly, swinging the sword, and managed to injure the guard there. "Let's move." We both quickly run. We also turned out to be approaching the Gongpil-do area. Lee Hyun stood at the forefront with his shield. He blocked the attacks of the Gongpil-do people. While continuing to advance, Lee Hyun's character used the stigma of the Great Mountain Push. With that skill, Lee Hyun pushed the people there. I ran from beside him and stepped on the area of Gongpil-do. "You have invaded private property." Gongpil-do's character has activated the armed zone cannon. The cannon instantly appeared. I keep running. Lee Hyun threw his shield. I caught it reflexively and quickly blocked the incoming barrage of fire. A big explosion occurred. I still stand upright. The compensation effect of the unbreakable feat has raised your stamina to level 20. The toughness that's 1 step higher has protected your body. Gong Pildu starts to stand up. He says, "You are that naughty tenant. I don't think you came here to pay fine." He took out his cannon again and ready to attack again. I told Lee Hyun, "Now is the time to destroy it." For a moment, Lee Hyun was silent. He strengthened his belief and clenched his fist. A message from the system popped up. Lee Hyun-sung's character had evolved. The instant a light enveloped her body, I, who saw that, felt this was quite impressive. The key to the success of this operation is Lee Hyun-sung's evolution. No wonder Lee Hyun is called one of the strongest supporting characters. This is my favorite scene from Y-Observival novel and I saw it live. Damn, I feel emotional. Power energy flowing in his body due to evolution. New character stigma has been unlocked. His fist was enveloped in light. Lee Hyun's character uses the stigma of Great Mountain Smash Level 1. Lee Hyun clenches his fist tightly, he screams and immediately punches hard on the floor there. A big shake occurred. The floor there immediately collapsed. Gong Pil-du panicked. He fell down. The green zone has been destroyed. Gong Pil-du's character's private estate has been destroyed. Now the biggest green zone at Kumoro Station has collapsed before the third scenario started. Feel relieved? You said you want to hear my story? After this, I also want to hear your story. I'm curious about many things about you. I was silent for a moment. The supporting characters of the novel began to be curious about me. I do not expect. I then approached the ruins. I saw that the grief-stricken Gong was still alive. I said with a smile, "Once in a while I also want to own land." I approached the ruins and saw Gong Pil-du who looked annoyed. I smiled and said, "Once in a while, I also want to own land." It didn't take long for Hee-won and his team to arrive. He said, "We have destroyed the small green zone that holds 3 people. To think it could be destroyed so easily." I look happy. "Thanks for the hard work. Byung is now very angry with me," he said via Dokja communication. "Hey, crazy motherfucker. What are you gonna do now? The other Dokja and Kungoro are freaking out because of you. Did you forget this scenario isn't just airing on my channel?" I answered, "Take it easy. Damn, my head hurts from so many messages from the Constellations. Prisoner of the Golden Headband loves your carelessness. General of Justice loves your revolution. Black Flame Dragon Constellation loves destruction. 300 coins sponsored. The channel owned by Brio Beer 3642 is the main channel in the Entertainment Seeker group. The task of eliminating the green zone, which contains 5 to 8 people, is a difficult task for animals to do alone. But Jihye did it easily. Is this the ability of Joonghyuk's disciple, an incarnation of Sage Hero? It turned out that my colleagues and I destroyed all the green zone areas at the station, and not long after that, everyone came after me with guns. Let's kill him." Bi-hyung laughed happily. "You are in trouble now." A message from the system appears. Scenario bounties have appeared. It says the Assassination Commission channel from the Racis on the Beer channel 3642, or the Blue channel asking to kill a certain person, namely Kim Dagan, aka me. Time taken 10 minutes. Prize 2,000 coins. Now I'm being targeted. G says I won't help you this time. Hee-won smiles. "I will get 2,000 coins if I kill you now." With alacrity, Lee Hyun requested that I stand behind him. I was now in a difficult position. Friends indirectly also get into trouble. I stay calm. I tell Gil-young no need to be tense. We don't have to fight them. I have read about incidents like this. I forget which regression, but Joonghyuk once destroyed the green zone. Once he arrived, the situation was the same as what I'm experiencing now. A system message appears. All green zones in this region have been destroyed, and the main scenario has collapsed. Difficulty is automatically adjusted according to the rest of the scenario schedule. Suddenly everyone panicked knowing this. They were wondering about the change in scenario, updated scenario content, written emergency defense. All green zones in this region were destroyed and monsters will be created in the remaining days. Fight monster herds for the remaining time. Duration 8 hours, compensation 1,000 coins. Without waiting any longer, the monsters immediately appeared and became wilder. Emergency defense has begun. Chaos is inevitable. The monsters started to brutally attack the people. Their many victims panicked, ran, and were killed. I started to move running to the transfer route. They immediately went up to the next floor. Realizing that I was being followed by the members of the Lawn Lord, I momentarily stopped drawing my sword and destroying the stairs there. Suddenly the people are getting angry. "Damn, you come down here, bastard! What are you doing?" I said. "I see you still don't understand the situation." Lee Hyun, on a different staircase, threw out his ultimate fist and instantly smashed the access to the top floor. Now the people with Gong Pil-do are trapped below. What the hell is all this? You destroyed the ladder. It's not like you told me. They're all obviously going to die. I stay calm, said. Calm down, I already know this. I started to act and activated the bookmark exclusive skill, which now has 3 book slots, which he has with the addition of skill Inho. Book number 3 has been activated. Bookmark skill level is low. Activation time is 5 minutes. I'm now copying Inho's inside skill. I shouted, Hey Gong Pil-do, how long are you just going to stand there? Don't you want to stay alive? If you fight and use your attribute again, won't the others be alive too? Everyone started to get provoked. Annoyed at what he said, the people there started asking Pil-do to fight. He starts to get desperate. I say again, this third scenario is not difficult like what you think. After updating this scenario, there will be many people who have to fight monsters and die. Of course, it's a different story if you fight alongside them. You guys here will be safe. Are you just going to be quiet? Everyone kept urging Pil-do to fight and save them. In my heart, I said, Great. If the people at the station unite with Gong Pil-do, then the casualties will be few. Gong Pil-do was now in a difficult position. The monsters started arriving. Pil-do, who was cornered, said, All right, everyone gather around me. I need some time to install the new armor zone. The people there started to gather in the Gong Pil-do area. I then had sang, pull someone over there. They stare at each other. I say, Are you going to kill me for bounty? Too bad you're late. The time limit for stopping the scenario has expired. Kim's bounty has been removed. Monsters started arriving to attack Gong Pil-do. Now he has recreated the armed zone area. Gong Pil-do's character has used private line level 3. The monsters that enter the area start to be shot by the emerging cannons. Gong Pil-do's character activated level 4. The approaching monsters were all shot easily. Those above saw it, amazed. Lee Hyun said it was an extraordinary stigma. I replied, You're right, for the time being we'll be safe on the stairs here. Monsters will find it difficult to approach and the monsters must go through the zone. They then relaxed for a moment on the stairs. I smiled. Let's just say we're standing on the right line. Gong Pil-do from below was getting annoyed with the situation. He had no choice but to stay there and keep fighting. Gong Pil-do character's armor has leveled up. Gong Pil-do character's private line has leveled up. Gong Pil-do's character level has acquired a protective skill. Only 1 hour after the fight started, the level up was very fast. But I don't know how much longer he can last. I then asked Ji-hye, Why isn't Joonghyuk here? He replies around 9 he is late. Wait, how did you know Master went into the dungeon? Why isn't he out yet? Sound from the channel system is then heard. Channel by 7623 is ready for main channel expansion. This scenario is now ready to switch to Byung. I told you via Dokja, can't you see I'm getting a lot of subscriptions right now? Byung looks very happy. I said again, hurry up or I'll destroy your channel. I will also give you 5,000 coins to upgrade to a gold member. Byung was annoyed again, and forced to take out the Dokja shop. I started looking for the necessary items. The first item I bought was behind the skins contract. The second was some potions. Knowing that, Dokja was shocked. Hey damn it. Have you forgotten our contract? If you can't have a sponsor? Looks like I wrote a contract. I'm planning something. This scenario had only been running for over an hour and a half, and there was still 6 hours remaining. Given Gong Pil-do's current state, the sponsor behind him was probably about to reach his limit. As far as I know, the sponsor behind it is a constellation that doesn't have a lot of coins, and any other constellation that views the channel will probably stop sponsoring. With this situation, we will see the reaction in a moment. It can be seen that now Gong Pil-do, who is fighting with all his might, is starting to get tired. Message in system appears. The sponsor of the character Gong Pil-do asked for help from a nearby constellation. I laughed. I knew it. The prisoner of the golden headband sneered, looking at Gong Pil-do, who was already exhausted from fighting. I immediately stood up. Hey Gong Pil-do, will you die like this or sign a contract with me? I also took out the contract that I bought. I'm not a racial, so I can't be a sponsor, but if you want, I can be the one behind the scenes. Are you interested? I will give you all these potions if you sign a contract with me. Byung suddenly surprised by my behavior. Pil-do angry, what did I say? In the midst of a difficult situation, a message from the system appeared. The sponsor behind Gong Pil-do's character has shown himself. The Constellation Defense Master is looking at you. As if he was crazy, Byung was furious. Are you out of your mind? You're the first person to try this. Surely he can't sign a contract with an insignificant human like you? I replied. That's your opinion. Even though he was a constellation, he already had no coins left. Time keeps running. Monsters keep coming in non-stop. Gong Pildu's condition was getting more and more worrisome. I think that according to the story of the novel, the constellation in Master's fans is a lower-class constellation compared to his abilities. The world has long been turned into a scenario, and after the world was destroyed, the myth about the Defense Master was never discussed again. The myths in novels are stories gathered together, and the myths of this world are the basis of their power. Therefore, the constellation, with the myth that has disappeared, it cannot accept coins and create new information, even doing behind-the-scene contracts. The constellations with myths disappeared would only be remembered in the world through their incarnations. If the incarnation dies, that version is forgotten and disappears. Gong Pildu is the only Defense Master incarnation. Seeing what happened to Gong Pildu is proof that he is out of coins. What are you going to do now? Gong Pildu was now completely exhausted and near death, and there was no response from the sponsor yet. Time is running out. Mid-condition system screen suddenly appears in front. The Constellation Defense Master was wondering about the contents of the contract. Bi-hyung was shocked to see that. No way, what kind of human are you, brat? The Constellation of Defense Master started to read the contract and asked for some time to think. The notification also appears on Pilu. He is angry. What does this mean? Damn it. Rossi has added terms to the contract. If you agree to these terms, Rossi Defense Master will agree to enter into a contract with you. Written in additional terms of the contents of the contract from the Defense Mater, that I must ensure the survival of Gong Pildu and help his attributes develop properly. I smiled. That's easy. The important thing is that the contents of my contract are written in the incarnation of Kim. I have command authority over Gong Pildu like personal property over Constellations and PES Master up to 10 times a day. I smile. I agree. Let's do the contract between me and the Defense Constellation Master. Then the contract has been made. Pildu's condition worsened. He vomited blood. I immediately gave him the liquid potion. I said, now drink it and fight. Gong Pildu drank it right away, as soon as his body was restored. Quickly, Gong Pildu's character had completely recovered his magic power. Pildu was furious. He said, Damn brat! When I get out of here, it will be the end of your life. Shut up, Gong Pildu, I said. Gong Pildu's mouth instantly couldn't speak under the terms of the contract. Now I can give orders to Gong Pildu at will. I smile. Now fight and don't touch my party members. Gong Pildu's body could not resist. The order is absolutely absolute. Damn, I made a contract with what kind of human exactly? Racists find you attractive. The personal reaction of the golden headband dropped the stick over. Your strategy is considered brutal. After that, the situation at the station began to be under control. I returned to open the HP and read the contents of the novel. There I realized something was impossible. I will complete the hidden scenario at the station in the 8th regression, meaning this 3rd regression, he will die. I'm moving right away. Sorry, everyone, but I have to go for a while. There's a bad guy who disappears to eat items here alone. Yokai, now I'm going to smack you on the head. I shouldn't have given up on this 3rd regression and hoped to finish it in the next one. Soon the animals woke up and came with me. I also brought Jeong to come along. Meanwhile, Sang-ah and Lee Hyun were assigned to watch over Gong Pildu while giving potions if his stamina was low. I was walking and approached Jihye. He says, Now where are you going, Ajusi? I replied, It's good that you're here. Come with us. Joonghyuk is in danger. Jihye Yang was curious, then came with me. The bastard came in at the exit. I told you it's been 11 hours since he came in. If you leave it like this, Joonghyuk will die today. Deep inside, if my guess is correct, that damn regressor will be somewhere. Then a hidden gasoline is now seen in front of the door of a theater room. The 4 of us are now standing there. You have entered the hidden dungeon. Without hesitation, the 4 of us immediately entered. A new hidden scenario has appeared. Beat the master of the theater, no time limit. Compensation 4,000 coins. Failure unknown. Now the 4 of us entered the area that could be called a cinema. As he walked on, he said, Ajusi, are you serious? Master is in danger? How do you know about this? Why are you trying to save her? I replied that this was just a hunch as a friend. Rossi wonders about your heart. Constellation. In the minute Chage of Fire likes your friendship, 100 coins sponsored. For a moment I thought, it was clear he had always chosen to regress again so that more people could live. But he doesn't know about the world he left after deciding to give up and die. From there I know there is no definite theory about what will happen in the world in this novel after the requester disappears. Will this world reset along with the regression returning, or will there be a forked parallel world? But now I am here. I have come to stop him before he takes his way to die. The four of us went into the nearby theater. Gil-young questioned, "Who did that?" as he examined the torn poster. "Why are so many of the posters torn?" I already knew this and said, "Come on, let's go upstairs." As we walked, we continued our conversation. "Are you a sword user as well?" Hyewon questioned Jihye. Jihye replied, "You're right. I prefer swords. This is the best weapon." We noticed another individual there after going down the stairs. I was startled when I realized that we had been secretly listening in on the talk. They said, "Are you sure that this place has a lot of useful items?" "Yes, I paid Prof 1,000 coins for this information." When I heard that, I was even more shocked.
And I thought, profit? Why does that matter? I'm not aware of any information regarding these people in the novel. This secret dungeon should only be known to me and Joonghyuk. What changed, and why? At the station, I never noticed their faces. The door outside the station appears to be where they entered from, but isn't there an incident going on as well as a poisonous fog outside? But perhaps there is a different scenario at each station.
Probably they clear the situation more quickly than our station. Then there was 4 men stood in front of a poster. The 4 men abruptly vanished after a light appeared there. We were shocked. What happened? What did they do next? We arrived shortly and noticed that all but one of the posters had been ripped off. That idiot Joonghyuk must have finished the others as he only left this one. I grin. Hyewon, do you like movies? Who wouldn't enjoy it? Then you might experience it after this. We were in front of a poster when we were suddenly surrounded by light. Playback will start after you have been exposed to the projected beam. Our bodies are vanishing. They are currently taken to a forest. Where are we? And what is this location? But suddenly I know that we're in a movie. The Master Theater, located on the 8th level, was able to replicate this world from a movie. The poster on the wall serves as the theater's center point, and each film has a valuable reward item. Hyewon was shocked to learn that Joonghyuk appears to be facing this on his own. Gil-young abruptly started walking by himself toward the bushes. He was startled by an unexpected movement. Then a bug flew directly above Gil-young. Jihye moved right away and swung her sword, but Gil-young avoided her movements and calmly held the insect. He appears satisfied, and Gil-young identifies him as a Titanoptera, a Triassic insect. Jihye questions me as she removes her attributes. "What's Gil-young up to?" I replied, "It's Gil-young's talent. He has the ability to talk to insects." Knowing this location, I thought Joonghyuk would be unfamiliar with and decline this movie due to its subject matter. But the reward in this movie is important. In the scene, Gil-young was shocked. The moment he shouted, the ground shook all around him. In front of them, there was an explosion, and 2 men appeared. They screamed for rescue Hyewon, and saw something chasing the 2 men. "I believe I've seen this movie." Then a dinosaur monster in the shape of a T-Rex appeared there. Because those monsters looked like Class 7 monsters, I was scared. However, the prizes would be better if the monsters in the secret dungeon were more dangerous. Everyone immediately ran from the monster after noticing that the T-Rex over there looked furious. He kept chasing, his gaze is scary. A notice from the system showed up after 2 more targets were successfully targeted. They have been identified as Species Class 7 Tyrannosaurus Rex. Jihyo asked, "Ajusi, do you want to try to fight him right now?" As I pulled out my sword, I replied, "You're right. That's what we have to do so that we can leave." I took a quick glance at the building in front of me. It was the island's main laboratory, where valuable goods were kept. I'm prepared to go on strike. By shouting Tyrannosaurus. Rex has activated the talent, Fear the Predator, so let's make a fair ending.
Fear the Predator skill's effect has been blocked by the exclusive skill. When I told Gil-young to move back, Hee-won and Ji-hae scattered to the right and left of Gil-young. I gave the attribute there. There is a book in front. The dinosaur book ability is now active on Gil-young's character. Tyrannosaurus rex, according to Gil-young, was agile for a dinosaur its size, but due of its narrow viewpoint, it is simple to attack. I heard that the T-Rex rushed in for an attack right away. I shouted out, "Let's move! When he notices me, please attack the back!" Ji-hae and Hee-won immediately separated to the sides. I quickly used my blade to block the T-Rex's attack. The system said, "You are the target of a species class 7 Tyrannosaurus rex." Gil-young suddenly said, "Brother, I'll distract it. I can do it." Gil-young yelled and grabbed his attribute. Suddenly a bug flew over. Gil-young immediately sent a grasshopper, the insect he had summoned, to strike the dinosaur's eyes. "I wonder if this is it," he said. "Quick, carry it out." Hee-won and Ji-hae cut the T-Rex's legs from 2 positions. "I act," the sword responds. "Now, special feature turned on. Fire has been transformed from ether. The flames have already swallowed the sword. I took my blade out of its case and ran up the T-Rex's tail. I rushed and swung the sword with all my power as he collapsed. I continued in my attack, and as the sword slash hit the flames, it was over. You are credited as being the first person to hunt a Class 7 species. You have been compensated with 1,000 coins. A message from system appear." I immediately helped the one person who was still alive after the fight. I gave him a drink, but he had a serious wound. "Hold on," I said. "Breathe in deeply. How did you two discover this location?" The man responded, "I got information from people who got the revelation," while gasping. I was suddenly amazed to learn that the person can't be helped, and I haven't had time to ask again. I immediately thought, revelation. As far as I know, only spirit children possess future sideways abilities. There's only one thing it could be if it's not a child. Others, like myself, must be familiar with the novel's plot. We then took a break in the building I had earlier seen. There, I discovered a large number of liquid potions. Glad to see there are some great items here. Many potions to boost stats and stamina can be seen here. When Ji-hae saw me, she too was in amazement. You can't really be expecting to take on all of this on your own, can you? After that, Ji-hae called the others. I was tempted by Ji-hae. "Can you give me the elixir? I need more strength. My string stats were already high when I used the character skill list." She lied to me, how could she? In fact, giving it to her is regrettable because she's a member of Joonghyuk's team. The situation angered some people. Offire anticipates your justice. Justice? Okay. I continued. How about we suit up? Ji-hae agreed to take on the task. Who's scared? I'm a skilled suit player. Ji-hae's character grabbed the scissors as I took out the Omniscient Reader Unique Skill Stage 1. I'm definitely going to win. I ended up getting 16 items. Ji-hae received none, while Hee-won and Gil-young each received 2. We were picked up by a helicopter that was not far from there. With the film's final changes, the Master Theater is happy. "You can now proceed to the upper floor," he said. After that, Gil-young and his grasshopper friend parted ways. The secret to a theater dungeon is not in getting there, but rather in satisfying the theater master. Only items that have been found, such as this elixir that I obtained after beating the T-Rex, can be taken out, and neither can monsters made from the Dunigan Theater move to the next floor. For 30 minutes, a DNA ampule item raises all stats by 10 points. The Dungeon Theater's exclusive item tastes good. I might be able to stop Joonghyuk with this equipment. In the worst-case scenario, they fly helicopters together. Now I'm telling you, the theatrical master appears to be an extreme psychopath. You've arrived to the first ending credit. You have 500 coins now. As a light surrounded us once more, we went back to the cinema room. As we proceed, Ji-hae asks if we need to cross multiple floors like this once more. You're right, I replied. Take a look at this poster after we're done. The posters on multiple floors must have been destroyed by Joonghyuk, since it will happen faster than you expect. Since we are unsure of how much film we have left, we must move quickly. I mistakenly believed that the theater was the cinema building, which was at exit number 1. The station building has 8 levels and a basement level. Those who kept walking now reached the 4th floor and got the posters that weren't torn up. We jumped right into the second movie. We were sailing on a cruise ship. Then we wore clothing that fits the movie's characters. Could this be a hit movie that is about to sink? Then who are you two? Jihye laughed and mocked. Then one person approached and quickly bound him. Okay, so it appears that all the actors are present, Hyewon said. What will we do with this man next? She pulled out her blade without pausing and uttered, Ajusi, you said Theater Master is a psychopath, right? Therefore, killing them must be the answer. Having time to debate, we got undecided out of fear that this person is a real person. Jihye stated clearly that this is a movie. We shall die if we don't kill him. She plays the villain in movies despite the fact that she is real. Then, without thinking, she stabbed the man. With the film's final changes, the Master Theater is happy. The moment the man was dead, a light appeared. Jihye grinned. Look what I said. Didn't we finish quickly? Time must not be wasted. 500 coins have been obtained, which marks the second credit's end. When they arrived back at the movie theater building, they quickly went to the 5th level. You have entered the 5th floor. The reward room item awards are limited to 2 per person, said the system's notification. There were only some items on this floor. There were no movie posters. Hyewon was impressed. She said, Is this the awards room? These items are the attributes that exist in the movie. I already know this. Here is where the costume equipment and attributes used for various films. These items weren't Starlight level, but they were Class A replicas with the characteristics of the real thing. The main reason behind completing the theater was this feeling of achievement. She then discovered a sword named Mikazuki Munichika, which confused those who continued to wander about. One of the legendary weapons of old, the Heavenly Sword. She appears thrilled, and then takes the item right away. It is incredibly light and clean. I got a sword that fits the persona. She is extremely grateful. I said he won. Please find anything for Sang-ah, as we went on our way. To offer Lee Hyun-sung, I'll get one. I'm holding a replica of Hercules the Demigod's Class A shield called the Hercules Shield. This seems perfect for Lee Hyun-sung. Jihye was busy with raising a hammer, said I swear, I don't deserve it. Gil-young, who had a hat at the time, noticed that, so he moved closer and attempted to lift it. Unexpectedly, Gil-young easily lifted it. Jihye raised her head. I believed that only those considered deserving of him could lift it. Gil-young is now the owner of a hammer from the thunder god Thor. Again, I feel enraged because the others have a desirable thing. Why have I been the only one to suffer bad luck? We gathered, and she asked, What will you take? You still haven't found your thing. I then gave it a quick look. I'm wearing a battle vest. External attacks will deal 10% less damage to me. Your capacity for detecting the presence of enemies has improved. You have improved your agility. External train for sweets is a product. I took the thing, and we are currently quite happy with what we got. I replied, Okay, let's go. We kept running up the steps. As I have stated, pick up our goddamn regressor now. Sadly, though, Joonghyuk wasn't on the 6th floor. Fortunately, we were able to complete the movie on the 6th floor and obtained a special item in the form of a skill book, starting by opening the obtained observation. Knowing that one can estimate the target's overall stats with this skill will be helpful for characters like Sang-ah and Gil-young, who are unable to use character lists. 6th floor is finished. We kept moving up to the 7th floor and still haven't found Joonghyuk. I looked surprised to see all the posters were torn. I thought that all the posters in this room had also been torn up. That means Joonghyuk is now in the boss room. We who kept running then stopped at a poster that gave off a light. Playback for this floor will start now. To my surprise, there was one poster left. We continued running on the 7th floor, then stopped at one poster that had not been torn off. Screening for this movie will start now. We enter the scheme of the film where we are back in the ocean, but this time we were on a warship. Previously obtained items can also be carried. A group of crew members were seen panicking. Everyone down. Protect the ship. Enemy shots came to attack the ship. By using Hercules, I immediately protect the team. The flames started to burn the ship little by little. Damn, this is a movie all Koreans know. That bastard Joonghyuk left this film out of so many posters. Other enemy warships are starting to come around. I have to stay calm. The situation this time we are outnumbered, but there is definitely hope. I looked back, then asked a man, Where is Commander Admiral Yi? The man was confused and did not know the name. Suddenly I was surprised. Why doesn't he know? Is it possible for the Master Theater to change the content of the story? Should we win the war now without Admiral Yi? It just doesn't make sense. For a moment I was silent. He remembers something. He had previously read the book obtained on the 6th floor and read the characters a bit. I realized that Jihye is probably a descendant of the dog of royalty and warfare, who was a war admiral who now makes Lee his incarnation. On that ship I didn't see Jihye. I was annoyed and shouted, calling Jihye's name. I kept looking for him and found Jihye was scared. I asked, "Lee, are you all right? Stand up quickly." Rasi felt sorry for Lee. Crying, she says, I won't do this. You three can stop it." Constellation looked at Lee with sad eyes. Racial cheers. I thought, he who already knew Jihye's life story in the novel then said, "I know you are very scared not because of seasickness, or what it is because you're dead friends like this movie, right?" Suddenly Jihye was shocked. "How did you know that?" He remembered his friends again and was getting hit. I thought again, wait a minute, I seem to be mistaken. Jihye hates the sea, but why can she be the incarnation of dark, of royalty and warfare? I then remembered chatting with Jihye, who said that Jihye was a descendant of Lee. I just remembered this history. Naval war general who led the war with the dukes of royalty and warfare. They are good friends. Both of them led the war of the past era and then won it. Unfortunately, in this world, Lee doesn't have many myths, so he can't become a sponsor, in contrast to the Duke of Royalty and Warfem, who has many myths and chooses Lee as his incarnation. In other words, Duke Op Royalty and Warfare chose Lee as his incarnation because he was a descendant of his best friend. In the middle of a war atmosphere, bounty scenario was suddenly given to me. Written Maritime War of God asking for your help to cheer up Lee Ji-hai and win this war. Time limit 2 hours. Stigma compensation from Duke of Royalty and Warfam. I was surprised by the reward that would be obtained if successful. Damn, I can't believe this. If I succeed, I can get one of the stigmas without having to enter into a contract. The war situation is getting worse. The warships of the enemy began to surround and anchor. They will destroy the ship. I'm getting panicked. I don't have much time to explain. Did you kill your friends just to die like this? You can run from here and never be forgiven. But if you wake up now, you can at least save some people. The enemy started to enter their ships. He won and Gil Young are now under siege. They fought with all their might against the large number of enemies. Rifle guns started attacking the ship's crew. Luckily, I was able to hold it off. He kept crying, "I'm a disgusting person. I don't deserve to live." I got more and more annoyed and shouted, "This is a new world and a reality that must be lived. Redeem it with the rest of your life or live your trash life." While fighting, I got more and more irritated with Jihye's condition. I got angry in the end. Somehow survive, or do you really want to die here? Hearing that Jihye's soul was turbulent. Your understanding of the test character has improved. Omniscient reader viewpoint exclusive skill level 2 activated. I heard Jihye's words. In his heart, Jihye said, "I don't want to die here." For a moment he strengthened his belief slowly. Had responded to the wish in Jihye. The look in her eyes changed. I saw this situation saying, the Constellations are selfish. They don't always send help when asked for, and there are a lot of rogue rishis who don't care whether their incarnation dies or not. But however, as long as the incarnation of the constellation is in the limelight, the constellation will not turn its back on its incarnation. Rising from his slump, he drew his sword and stood straight. Suddenly the light fell. Lee Ji-hai's character has received a new stigma. Lee's character has activated Ghost Stigma Level 1. His body is enveloped in great power. I smiled, damn he was cool. I indirectly helped Joonghyuk awaken Lee Ji-hai's power. The enemy came to attack. Instantly a sea whirlpool was created around the ship. Revenge on the enemy. If I die here, I will have no regrets. Suddenly, mysterious warships emerged from the whirlpool. Everyone was amazed by the arrival of ships that came from nowhere. Jihye's body is shrouded in the aura of her ancestral power. Jihye stares sharply. He directs his sword, which is the command to shoot the mysterious ships there. Started shooting at enemy ships. Explosions occurred everywhere. Jihye continues to fight. I'm amazed. It's the amazing power of stigma. Only 1 hour we can destroy all enemy ships. A message from the system appears. Master Theater is satisfied with the final changes of this film. You have reached ending credit, 4th 500 coins awarded. After the fight, the mysterious ships then disappeared. He stretched out his hand to Jihye, who was lying down. Good job, Lee Ji-hai. I, who saw this incident, said in my heart, the gods are very powerful. Too dear to be handed over to Joonghyuk. Bounty scenario has been resolved. I started to wonder, would I also receive the stigma from her too? The message from the system says, you have received the bounty of the sea for bounty scenario. The stigma of Song of the Sword has been obtained. I'm shocked to get that. Damn, this doesn't fit. As far as I know, in the novel, the stigma of Song of the Sword was obtained by Lee in the middle of the story. Great. At least this skill is more needed now. With this, maybe I can prevent the worst. On the 8th floor, the schematic of this film is completed. The light enveloped them again. Rossi thanks you. I smiled. This time it was a good ending. They are now back in the theater room. Jihye looks tired. I said take a rest before boarding. He won, and Gil-young immediately ran to the 8th floor. I thought, the stigma I got might be enough to replace Lee, who ran out of stamina. I have to quickly save Joonghyuk. No matter how good the stigma Jihye has now, it will mean nothing if Joonghyuk dies or this world ends. The elixir and coins collected to increase the stats level should be enough. I'm back to increasing his stats. We kept running until we reached the 8th floor. You have entered the 8th floor, the heavenly garden, and right there is Joonghyuk, who stands alone. He asked, isn't that a person named Joonghyuk? What are you going to do now? I walked over and smacked Joonghyuk on the head. Hey damn, you're so cold. But Joonghyuk did not respond. I looked at him. Something seemed wrong. His aura is not like the Joonghyuk I know. Would you die like this on the 8th floor? Obviously not, because he is weak, but this is the work of the theater master boss. The master theater has revealed the figure of an old man wearing a hat seen sitting there. I saw him panic a little. Damn it. He's the boss of the theater dungeon. He is the worst opponent for Joonghyuk. Maybe at this time, Joonghyuk lost the ability to think and become his puppet. The message from the system said Theater Master has taken control of Yoo Joonghyuk's character. Joonghyuk started to act, his eyes blank. I'm a little scared. Wait a minute, come on, calm down. Let's talk first. No character in this world can stop Joonghyuk. One punch was thrown so hard my body was sent flying far away until I vomited blood. Joonghyuk's character has used the force. It has been broken. There is a reduction in defense. He moves. He activates Demon's Flying level 2. He jumps and swings his sword. Joonghyuk easily avoids Joonghyuk counterattacking. He holds He-won's hand and gives him one punch. Lucky He-won was able to dodge and immediately kept his distance. He-won was speechless. Joonghyuk was quickly in front of him. Joonghyuk's character has used Splitting the Sky energy level 2. One hit on He-won. His body bounced far away. On the other hand, Jihye also immediately came there. Suddenly he was surprised to see He-won was sprawled. I screamed, Jihye, watch out! One punch ready to land on the head, I shouted. At this time Joonghyuk was being manipulated. Attack the theater master sitting there. Jihye immediately ran towards the master's theater, but unfortunately Joonghyuk from the side caught up. Joonghyuk kicks him in the face. He-won runs to help carry the fallen sword. Rests on his hands. Turns his body and attacks back Jihye, and He-won attacks simultaneously. But again Joonghyuk manages to dodge. He jumped. Gil-young helped him issue a lightning strike, but Joonghyuk could withstand it. He made a shield wall. Joonghyuk's character has offset the impact of the attack. With lighting resistance, he has activated the Judgment Time exclusive skill. The system of the Absolute Guard constellation kept quiet at Joonghyun's request. Skills cancelled. This man is not a bad person. He won't let his guard down. Joonghyuk came and gave him one punch, seeing how the fight was going. I activated the identification skill. Too much information about this person. The character is made into a summary. I said, Joonghyuk is indeed cruel, but his nature is fair. Because of that, He-won's skill can't work. I, who kept reading the statistics, realized something. Damn, this deserves beyond my expectations. This bastard activated a new stigma, transmission level 1. It was the stigma that allowed Joonghyuk to awaken the skills he had in the past, time after time. I said to Gil-young, please, you know what to do, right? Gil-young understands. I don't want to do this, but there is no choice. Dokja took out the elixir from the T-Rex and immediately drank it. You have used Ampole DNA Rectifier. All stats will increase by 10. All stats will increase explosively for 30 minutes. I was enveloped in an aura of strength. White Fuse exclusive skill. Energy has been activated. I'm ready to attack. The skill gap with him wasn't quite filled. With amazing stats, Joonghyuk in front of me also took out a sword. We are now facing each other. Without saying much, we move forward. A sword fight ensued. Joonghyuk's movement was more violent. I could only resist and was cornered. Damn, even though my stats had gone up, but instead I was pushed back. I have to find a loophole. I heard Joonghyuk's words. In my heart it hurts. How many more times in the future will I have to repeat it? I heard that shocked. That bastard had already started to come to his senses. I gave one slash, but it was dodged. Wake up, you damn, one punch launched. Joonghyuk dodge reflex. Joonghyuk said again to himself, once the regression starts, everything will return to the beginning. All my friends will lose their memories and history will be erased. Everything will repeat itself. Actually, what am I? I stared at Joonghyuk, who was silent for a moment. Theater Master can control Joonghyuk until like this. Joonghyuk's mental state is not calm. I shouted, hey, aren't you a protagonist? Didn't you just regress 3 times? Have you forgotten the message from your first try? Joonghyuk. Not yet conscious either. He was still talking to himself in his heart. I'm the only creature that lives in this world. I am alone. I who heard that was annoyed. Hey, damn, don't fall into that feeling. If you can't find the meaning of life in front of you, didn't you decide to live with a bigger purpose? I hit again, where again, and able to be avoided. Doctor says I'm very emotional. As a reader of this novel, I got carried away by Joonghyuk's attitude. I remember when I read this novel first. I, while attacking, kept shouting, you are not alone. What do you think we're here for? How come you can be alone? Because you died like a fool in the theater, and you cried for your little sister, who died even when the prophet stabbed you in the back, when the one you loved gave birth to a child. You went mad when your son died, the fight against the demon lord. I was carried away by him, remembering the contents of the novel I read. I keep screaming. Try to live no matter what. For a moment, Joonghyuk was silent. The battle was getting fiercer. I was unable to offer resistance. I'm too excited, even though I just need to buy time. Joonghyuk jumped and ready to hit me. Reflexes held the ground around, crumbling from the collision of Kami's power. I keep holding on as hard as I can. Joonghyuk in his heart said, who are you? Her eyes turned no longer empty. I was shocked. Did he wake up? He just looked at me. Joonghyuk then said, who are you? A fierce fight ensued. Joonghyuk's consciousness started to return. The excessive immersion had caused the fourth wall to shake. I immediately kept my distance. I said to myself, has his consciousness returned? After hearing my words, is all this over? Theater Master, who notices Joonghyuk's consciousness, then controls him again. Theater Master has strengthened his control on Joonghyuk's character. Joonghyuk is in pain. His consciousness is controlled again. His body was enveloped in the aura of Theatrical Master's power. Joonghyuk immediately attacked me. I reflexively hold the special option. The Aider property is changed to fire. The sword was now enveloped in flames. I started to give resistance from behind. Seen wearing attributes, his nose was bleeding. The fight began to heat up. Joonghyuk began to be pushed. I'm back in action. The stigma of Song of Sword has been used. As soon as his sword issued a string of words, Song of the Sword is one of the strongest combed buffs that Duck of Royalty and Warfare is proud of. There is a large variation in attack power depending on which verse is being sung. Your sword is imbued with words left behind by the Duke of Royalty and Warfare. With that skill, the strung words instantly changed, forming dozens of bows. The chaos was like a thunderstorm. My body is enveloped in the power of lightning. With a sharp look, I counterattacked. Dozens of lightning arrows shot towards Joonghyuk. Joonghyuk began to be desperate. I quickly ran to the theater mater. He was slightly injured. Yoo Joonghyuk's character had used recovery level 2. With lightning speed, Joonghyuk managed to recover and immediately confronted me. Suddenly I was shocked. I immediately said, Gil Young now. Gil Young, who was using his attribute, started to lose consciousness, and suddenly from outside a sudden attack destroyed the barrier wall. An insect figure called Gil Young, a Class 6 insect lord, has appeared. Everyone there was amazed by its large size. The insect immediately came to target Joonghyuk. Joonghyuk reflexively hold the theater master, I said from behind. Why are you so relaxed? One slash was ready to be given. The Master Theater realized that the Master Theater crew had triggered a mental erosion. Now he's targeting me. I try to hold back as soon as Theater Master managed to enter my mind. But there he was, astonished to see the words appear where it was the story of the novel had been activated. Master Theater can't read it. I regained consciousness and was ready to slash Master's Theater. Don't tell me you are his sword slash directly landed on Theater Master's head. His body disappeared. The Master Theater was eventually defeated. The creature belonging to the Master's Theater had been killed for the first time. You have earned 9,000 coins. You have met the conditions to complete the hidden scenario. You have earned 4,000 coins. I'm tired. Gil-young came over and hugged me. The Insect King was still there. I panicked. The berries surrounding the dungeon theater had disappeared. The Insect King immediately left. Joonghyuk's condition after that lay unconscious. Hee-won and Ji-hai are coming. Are you okay? We're fine here, I said. Thank God it looks like this is over. Morning starts. A message from the system appears. The end time of the third main scenario is near. They stood for a moment at the end of the building. The stars are falling. Is it really over? I told myself. It's a meteor shower. At first it was the forerunner of the main scenario of meteor showers, probably falling all over the world now. That means there will be more disasters and nightmares than before. For a while we enjoy the atmosphere there. Gil-young says, "Don't you make a wish." I look forward to seeing the epilogue of this story. At the cracks in the sky, and when the sun rises, the Dokja will open up a new hell. Hidden scenario has ended. They then approached Joonghyuk, who was sprawled. Message from system appears again. Third main scenario, emergency defense has ended. You have earned 1,000 coins as compensation. The fourth main scenario is about to start. Suddenly I was surprised to know that. What's this fast? Whereas the third scenario just ended 10 minutes ago. I went straight downstairs. I told Ji-hye you take care of Joonghyuk when he wakes up. Might be a problem right away. Let me know when he wakes up. The situation below, everyone who was fighting with Gong Pil-do was exhausted because they had to fight monsters until morning. I carried Gil-young, Bi-young through Dokja Communications said, "Hey, what did you say during the fight earlier? Are the words you speak well filtered? The Constellations and I haven't heard much, but the Constellations are now wondering about you." I remembered that I had already told the contents of the novel when I fought with Joonghyuk. I said, "Damn that battle. I was too carried away to say too much." The Constellations were powerful, but they didn't know everything in this world. I replied, "Never mind in the future, I just want to hear news about coins. Several Constellations are watching you to explore your secrets. Rasi, happy with your existence. 2,000 coins sponsored." Hee-won then took turns carrying Gil-young. Hee-won asked, "What exactly is your identity?" I slightly frantically answered, "I only know a small part of the future." Sang-ah and Lee-hyun didn't know about this, Hee-won answered. "Then if you already know my development in the future, right? What will happen to me later?" I replied, "I don't know what kind of development you mean. For sure I could have killed Hee-won if I wanted, but I have no malicious intent. Future scenarios will be much more dangerous, so please be by my side going forward, in the sense of becoming my partner. If you don't want to be my partner, consider it a deal. I need Hee-won's strength and I have information that will be useful for Hee-won to continue to survive. The most important thing is that our relationship will not change in the future." I thought Joonghyun wasn't actually in the original novel. He's a variable that I raised directly. Perhaps after this scenario ended, a second sponsor selection would start. And if he found a suitable sponsor, he would play an important role in the changes in the future scenario, especially if fighting with people with other variables that I don't know about. Hee-won just smiled, hearing that downstairs there was an argument between Pil-do and Lee-hyun. "I come closer," Pil-do says. "You bastard! Where are you hiding? I want to make calculations with you." Looking at Pil-do, I thought, though I could tell at a glance that his overall stats had increased drastically. Midway through the conversation, a message from the system popped up. The fourth main scenario will start in 5 minutes. Bi-young immediately appeared. "Everyone! How are you guys?" Everyone looks restless. Of course I came because of the announcement for the fourth main scenario. The next scenario has to do with other stations. A more thrilling story is waiting for you guys. But for this fourth scenario, you have to do other tasks first. It will be messy. If the number of people increases, so you need someone to lead you, in other words, there has to be a representative at the station to lead. A sub-scenario has appeared. It says grab the white flag stuck in the middle of the platform, 30 minutes time limit, and become a representative. A flag with its pole then appeared. The crowd immediately ran, wanting to get the flag. I said, with that flag maybe I can control him who has gone too far to me. Gong Pil-do, who fell under the terms of the contract, command has been activated. I gave the order and immediately stepped on Pil-do's back and took the flag. You have pulled the white flag from the flagpole. You have become a representative of the station. You are qualified to walk. If the white flag does not change within 5 minutes, the station will be under control. The time counter will reset. This should be something Joonghyuk had on this third regression. Is it okay if I replace it? Seeing that there was still time to take it, Pil-do immediately ordered his men to attack. I immediately gave Lee Hyun the shield. Lee Hyun looked pleased. He immediately formed a defensive shield to protect me and the team. Lee Hyun-sung's character has used the exclusive white area defense skill, making Pil-do even more annoyed. Gong Pil-do's character has activated Armed Zone Level 6. I told you. Gong Pil-do, did I allow you to wake up? Make sure your head stays on the floor until I tell you to get up. He can't refuse that order. His body could not be moved. Let me go, damn, shut your mouth. Stay still for 30 minutes. I kept giving orders. He couldn't fight back. Now that this flag is in my hands, it's time to get people to manage. Now is the time to choose my side, then say, everyone has understood the situation, right? You only have 2 choices. The first is to leave the station and go to another station, or stay here with me. I won't stop anyone from leaving, but those who stay here will be under my control. Everyone's a little pissed off. In the end, you just want to be in power, right? Will you guarantee our safety? I replied. I will guarantee some safety from the outside, but I will not interfere in conflicts between individuals. They all fell silent. Time was up. 5 people chose to leave the station. The time to grab the flag has ended. You get 1,000 coins as compensation. The white flag will show the group representative its original effect. Now there are 24 people left. The people there are starting to open their minds to me. All right, we're following you. We did wrong in the past. Please forgive. Some members in the group feel confident in you. You have mastered the group via the white flag effect. You can punish group members who go against you. Your reputation is still too weak to earn the title of king. Not long after, Bi-hung appeared. Looks like the representative has been chosen. So let's start the game. A message from the system appears. The 4th main scenario has been activated. The struggle for the main category flag. The first requirement is that each station has its own flag and flagpole. Each pole can be occupied by flags from other stations. Secondly, you have to protect flags from groups of other stations. If the flag is captured by another group, then the group that loses will be taken over by the group that controls the flag. Third, flag authority is only for representatives from each station. If the representative leaves the station, the representative can be reassigned with the representative's permission. If a group member takes the flag of another station, the treatment will be determined by the group representative. Fourthly, you must occupy the flagpole of the target station within the specified time limit. The risk of failing to capture another flag will result in the death of all group members. Fifth, the target station that the group had to occupy was Changshin Station. 12 days time limit, 2,000 coins compensation. He said, so we have to guard our flag and flagpole while dropping the flag at another station? It seems so. We also have to take the flag to Changshin Station. The AA was a little scared, so we have to fight against people again. Lee Hyun tried to calm down, not really, It was said that we can determine the behavior towards the group whose flag we belong. So there's a possibility of no casualties. I thought, in fact, there isn't any scenario anywhere where no one died. This 4th scenario would result in more casualties than any of the other scenarios. Changshin Station is on which line? Lee Hyun replied. I think on line 6. Going down the tunnel, we can also use the transit route. Looks like we have to split our group with several people. Guard this place while others go border security. At Kungmoro Station will be shut down due to scenario activation. The barrier to Kungmoro Station is now open. I then approached Gong Pil-do, who is lying down. He says, Gong Pil-do, you can talk now. I know you feel displeased with me, but you have to adapt. The days where you were a landlord are over. I know why you are so obsessed with this land, but do it within limits. If you want to survive in the future, now I will take responsibility to protect this place. This time I won't force her with orders. If you follow my request, then there will be a reward for you. Think about it carefully. Think about your family too. In the middle of the atmosphere, suddenly several people came by using motorbikes down the tunnel. They approached the Kumoro station. I panicked a bit. Damn, it was fast. Even though the scenario started not long ago, but the invasion had already happened, the motorized members then stopped. They started to go down. They said, finally, we made it to Kunguro Station. Really, it took them a long time to solve the third scenario. Someone replied, hey, shut up. They will listen. And no. You know yourself, isn't the scenario different at every station? They got off the motorbike and approached me and the people who were there. I then said, stop right there. Put down your weapons and approach slowly. They all immediately lowered their heads. Someone replied, calm down, we didn't come here to fight. Let's start with introductions. My name is Kong Il-hun, and I help manage the Station Dong group. I immediately identified with the character. Is he representative of Dong? Does it mean there are variables again? But this identification skill works. She must be a character in a novel. Il-hun then said, what is your name? Il-hun was surprised to hear that. He looked surprised. All right, nice to meet you, Kim. You have the flag. You must be a representative of the station, right? Let's get straight to the main point. We come with a good offer. Don't you know the contents of the scenario, and there are rules that don't require us to fight? If we were to attack, we'd definitely bring our flag-holding representative. Our coming here to offer an alliance. Wouldn't it be better if we united? I thought there was something strange about his expression when he learned my name. How could I believe them? The team and I then negotiated. To be honest, I couldn't believe them. It felt like they were hiding something. Kungmoro Station is not our target. If Kumoro is our target, we will bring our main force here. I hope you give it a good thought. Besides, the station just opened. So you guys might not know that this fourth scenario has been running 2 days ago. We can give you a lot of information, the then asked. Why did you come to Kumoro? If you came from Dong, you must have made an alliance with another closer station. Ilun answered him a little panicked. That's because Kungmuro has just opened. I mean, other stations have already formed an alliance. After negotiating, we can't trust you guys right away. I will make a decision after I meet with your representative, Ilhun replied. Okay, then I will guide you to the station Dong. We will share details if you agree to form an alliance. I then decided to come along. I asked Gil-young to rest here. Kong Pildu, take good care of Gil-young. Won and Sang-ah then set off down the tunnel with Dong's group. On the way I said, hey, Ilhun, did the people there say anything else about Kumuro? For example, if you come here, then there will be a very scary man named Yoo Joonghyuk. The four of them looked at each other and realized something. Simultaneously, they immediately jumped off the motorbike. I said, Sang-ah now. Sang-ah immediately took out the thread skill and immediately entangled the people from the Dong. They all fell down. What did you guys do? Flashback is shown. Before leaving, I said while negotiating, first we pretend to agree to form an alliance with them. If you see anything strange, stop it immediately. I said for ambush, you guys should level up your steel a bit more. Strike now. They start to fight. He-won takes out her skills. The Absolute Guard constellation had approved the use of this skill. Catchment time has been activated. The people from the Dong were easily taken out. In the middle of the fight, those who were not far from Kumuro then saw an explosion. The said, look at Samoro Station. Suddenly I panicked to see that. I immediately went there. Sang, please take care of them. I will be there now. A few moments before the explosion at Samoro, Pildu was seen relaxing near the Jiliang. As soon as people arrive from another station, who are these bastards? UCA Pildu. A crowd of people came to attack. A troop leader said, take control later. It will end as soon as I put down the flag. I quickly arrived at the station, saw the chaos that was happening. That person, he must be a representative of another station. Representative of Myeongdong. Kim Hyun-tae has used the added effect of red flag. Group Myeongdong has received buff from red flag. It turns out that the man is a representative from Myeongdong Station named Hyun-tae. He says, make your way to the flagpole. Attack and defense each increase by 5%. I saw that, thought the red flag was representative of Myeongdong Station. The key to this flag war is the color of the flag, ranging from white to red. Already turned red, that meant he was after occupying a station or so, but it was a shame he shouldn't be aiming for this place. Since the beginning, the character Gongpil-do has activated skill level 6. The character Gongpil-do has activated level 6. The cannons there directly aim at the people who enter the flagpole area. The cannon shots make the enemy finish easily. The enemy is panicking. Damn, there is no information about this. All gather and retreat now. They started to run away from the station. Where are you guys going? The special option of Unbroken Fate has been activated. Aider property has been changed to API. I blocked them and created a fire barrier. The enemy is now trapped by the attack from the armed zone and directly finishes the Myeongdong people. Their red flag flew. I immediately took it and immediately the white flag turned red. You have got the flag of the Myeongdong group. The white flag has changed to a red flag. White flag will give up. The accumulative achievement of your red flag is one step closer to King Root. Changing the color of the flag not only improves the ability of the representative, but also the members of the group. This is the reason why other groups target other stations. The other king candidates must have entered a full-scale war to change the colors of their flags. I then approached the dead Hyundai. Damn, he's dead. I can't ask anything now. Soon, Lee Hyun and Sang-ah returned to Kumoro with Il-hun. They then immediately carried out the interrogation. Il-hun panicked a bit. What did you guys do to me? Just kill me now. I replied, it depends on how much information you can give me. I take out my sword. I will count from 3. If you don't open your mouth, I will kill you. I swing the sword, the frightened Il-hun said. Dongmyo Station, the people at Dongmyo Station gave us information about this station. He called himself a prophet. Suddenly I was surprised to hear that the quickly closed his mouth with thread. I thought, I saw it under the control of someone with skill suggestion. This is a skill that can be used face to face. At least with this guy, I can identify one prophet. After that, I approached Ji-hye, who was waiting for Yoo Joonghyuk to wake up. Ji-hye said, Hey, Ajusi, how are things downstairs? Will Master be okay? I replied, Don't worry, the condition is under control. Joonghyuk will also be fine. He may still have trauma left. I then gave a small writing to Ji-hye. Please give this to Joonghyuk when he wakes up. The Constellations are surprised by the letter. The personnel of the Golden hate me. Even if Ji-hye opens it, he won't understand the contents of this paper. Its contents will only be known by Joonghyuk. Ji-hye replied, Don't worry, I'll give you this letter. The Golden Headband's personal optical constellation respects your taste. Russi likes your friendship. 600 coins sponsored. After that, I went back downstairs. While walking, I read the contents of the novel again. I have searched thoroughly in the data, but I never saw another prophet's name. If it's like this, then there are 2 hypotheses. First, because of the unknown variable. So there are several new prophets that have appeared. Secondly, there are readers of this novel besides me. The possibility of the second hypothesis is greater, because the attribute prophet is not easy to obtain. I immediately approached Lee Hyun and sang The 3 of us then decided to go to Myeongdong Station, which is not far from Kumoro. Sang-ah looks a little gloomy. What did I say, Sang-ah? He felt guilty for not being able to make an alliance. Don't trust people too easily in the future, the replied. I know, but I still want to believe that. I was able to survive this far because I believed in someone. The looked at me expectantly. After walking along the railroad tracks, we arrived at Myeongdong Station, where many victims had fallen. There too we saw some suspicious people, those who noticed my arrival and the others immediately ran away from there. Who were they? What's going on here? He asked. I replied, I do not know them. Damn, who are they? If I had known they were here, I would have run right here. Is it Myeongdong Station? Walk inside the station. A message from the system says, there are currently no groups occupying Myeongdong Station. Are you sure about taking over the station? I without thinking immediately planted the flag there. You have occupied Myeongdong Station. Occupied stations cannot be taken from you unless the main base or flag has been captured. Red flag achievement points increase. Your influence has grown by taking over the new station. Hidden scenario has appeared. King Root has started. I now get a new scenario. Written take over at least 10 stations. Time limit 10 days. King attribute reward. Failure if unable to take over minimum 1 station per day. You and your group members will all die. Damn, this terrible scenario started. After that, I went back to the station not far from Myeongdong. I told the hidden scenario that I got. We went back to negotiating. Lee Hyun said, "I'm happy because I'm the candidate for king." Hee-won teased, "Do I have to call Hun now His Majesty the King for the future? If the contents of this scenario are true, shouldn't we be occupying the new station immediately?" I replied, "Stop all your jokes. All right. First we need to find out about the people who attacked us. I'll go straight to Dongmyo Station. Hee-won and Lee Hyun-sung will go with me. You wait here." Hearing that, the was a little disappointed. I realized it immediately said, "Sang-ah, not everyone can do the same thing well. Now I can't leave the unconscious Gil-young alone. I also need someone to watch over Gongpil-do and control the group members who are fighting. Besides that, the troops from other stations have to be watched over. They could have attacked while we were gone. Attributes that the might really need here. I'll give her a tough job position. What do you think?" Lee Hyun replied, "I can believe that the did it. If it's my king's will, I agree." For a moment the was silent. His face then looked happy. The replied, "Entrust the task to me," Sang-ah and I then shook hands. "You are using the special permission of the representative." I transferred some of the authority to the group member. Group member Yoo Sang-ah has become deputy of the station. In the future he can give punishment on behalf of the representative. I said, "All right, now I'm leaving all the situation here to you, Yoo Sang-ah. Glad I'll try to do my best." After that, me, Hee-won, Lee Hyun, and Kang Il-hun continued walking towards Dongmyo Station. On the way we chatted. I said that I was feeling Sang-ah a little under pressure recently, but I didn't think that way. I just thought that Yoo Sang-ah would do a good job. I think Yoo Sang-ah is the best person in HRD. Not everyone can do well to condition a lot of people, so the job suits him perfectly. Hee-won then asked, "What is Joonghyuk's fate now? It sounds like you know him very well. What exactly is your relationship?" I replied, "I hate him. I fought with many people because of him." "What about Hee-won? Didn't you ever tell me you have a little brother?" He replied, "Right, that sucks. I have to drop him off at school." Along the way they kept telling stories. I told you at the beginning of the novel, I'm not the only reader. Quite a number of people followed out of curiosity up to chapter 10. There were also those who read up to chapter 50, and they were the ones who fought with me via comments. But whether they are alive or not, I do not know. Maybe the person I'm going to catch is one of them. After walking, we stopped at Dong Station and no one was there. The message from the system says, "This station has been occupied by Dongmyo Station. If you want to occupy this station, grab the Dongmyo Station flag." Kang Il-hun's current character is a wanderer. I'm starting to think, looks like Dong Station was taken over from the start before Il-hun came to Kumoro. Obviously, this is a double trap. There are people who incited the Myeongdong group and the Dong group to attack. Because from the start, he knew these two groups would die in Kumoro while Dong and Myeongdong troops went to Kumoro. The group took over Myeongdong and Dong stations. They know they can't beat Kumoro. Damn, what exactly are their plans this time? I'm sure the Prophet came up with this plan. Not long after, a group of people approached me. Someone said, "Kang Il-hun, why did you bring useless people to me? Who are you?" I, who saw it, immediately used the identification skill but couldn't be recognized. Information about this person is illegible. On the character list, he answered, "We are from Kumoro." That person then took out a skill from his eyes. The system tells it to use the Explore attribute on you. But I used an exclusive skill. I didn't get noticed. Suddenly, the person was surprised in pain. "Sorry, what's your name?" For a moment, I was silent. According to the story of the novel, the Kumoro representative should be Yoo Joonghyuk. They probably know his whereabouts. If he really is a prophet, this will be interesting. I smiled. I said, "I am Yoo Joonghyuk." Suddenly, Hee-won and Hyun are surprised to hear that. I thought again, maybe I'm not like the handsome and muscular figure of Yoo Joonghyuk described in novels. But one thing is certain, this man in front of me has clearly read Way of Survival. The man immediately turned his gaze to Lee Hyun and reactivated the identification skill. "You better move your eyes carefully. Do you think I wouldn't know if you've snooped on me and my team's information with your skill back? I said. Suddenly, someone was immediately surprised. Good, maybe he now thinks I'm using a skill. One of the members is angry. You bastard, how dare you? But he was hit from behind, then said, I'm sorry. Such an honorable person must see this scene. Let me introduce myself, porter named Jungkook. I'm the deputy in charge of Dongmyo Station. With Younghyuk's eye look, I said, okay, from now on, this is my station, so get out right now. Suddenly he was shocked. He replied, it is not possible. There's no way you can move a station that's already occupied. You have to get the flag. I replied, you think I'm stupid? You are deputy, so you have the authority of representative at will. I threatened again, took out my sword and said, I will count to 3. Otherwise I will cut off your head. He panicked. I took out a sword and immediately aimed it. He panicked more. Wait. All right, I'll give it to you, I replied. You're late, so give it too. Unable to resist anymore, he trembled as he said, how come you have a station and meet with representatives first? I swear, I won't set you up when I get there. Give our group a chance to talk to Yoo Joonghyuk. I replied, all right, show me the way from Dongmyo Station. He has sworn on King Honor, if he breaks this oath, you can punish him. The team and I were escorted by Jungkook to Dongmyo Station. Along the way, I thought there were 2 things that made me curious. Firstly, he has a file like mine. Secondly, how many prophets are there in this world? Do they also have fourth wall skills, or the same skills as me? On the way, I immediately raised the stats level. 500 coins have been invested in agility, speed to level 30. With new status, I darted quickly toward Jungkook, who was looking at his cell phone. He was shocked and immediately turned away his cell phone. I caught a glimpse of what just now I saw the chat room. Is there internet here? After a long walk, we finally arrived at Dongmyo Station. There we saw people being forced to cut monster meat by a crowd of people watching. I whisper, he won watch around. I was then invited to a room, come in, our representative is waiting inside. There I met a boy who was serious in front of the computer. I immediately activated the identification skill and the system read, Han Dong-hun's name. There were many special attributes from him. Judging by the flag, this kid is already halfway through the king route. According to the story of the novel, he is one of the 7 kings of Seoul, the brat who would soon become the hermit king of Shadow. Now I know why there is internet here. Obviously because this kid has enabled comment manipulation level 3. With that skill, certain people can now exchange information with each other. You can see a conversation discussing the prophet, Jungkook said. Hey, the guest has come. Mr. Joonghyuk, let's start the conversation with our representative. Earnestly, Han Dong-hun just kept silent and ignored me. I said, are you kidding me? He stays silent. I'm mad at Jungkook. You want me to talk to the doll? I know you are the real power in this station, not Jungkook. All right, it's hard to trick you. I brought you here on purpose to avoid the attention of others. Here there is a sound web blocking skill, so our voice doesn't come out. This is important for you and for all of us. I said, okay, tell me who you are. Jungkook said, I'm a prophet, more precisely one of them. Suddenly I was surprised to hear it. This is the information that finally came out. There Jungkook slightly discussed his admiration for Joonghyuk while reading the novel. He said Joonghyuk had repeated several lives. You fight against enemies to save people alone. We respect your passion, but don't worry, this time is different. We prophets now have a special blessing to help you. It might be hard to believe, but we received a revelation. I'm more curious, what revelation do you mean? Jungkook answered. In our world, the prophets, there are secret revelations that are only shared among fellow prophets. In the contents of revelation, there is Yoo Joonghyuk, who is a living myth. It is a single revelation that records all past and future. But the revelation has been corrupted. But we remember the fragment of the revelation, and from there we are ready to step on the right path with you. You can live more differently than before. I then realized something. Wait, what is revelation? What does he mean by the contents of the novel? It's surprising if you have received a revelation. Then what will you do next? Jungkook said, we will make an alliance under your command. Meanwhile, Hee-won is with Lee Hyun, who is waiting outside for someone to arrive. Who are you? Do you want to form an alliance? Useless people. Hee-won is angry. Then who are you? Dare say so. They stare at each other. Meanwhile, I'm in the room trying to come up with a plan. If you guys want to make an alliance with me, you have to reveal your identity. Kneel now. Tell me your identity. How many prophets like you are there? Now Jungkook is surprised. In his heart he says, doesn't he have skill? Why doesn't he know my identity? Is he just testing me? Without thinking, Jungkook did it. My attribute is hypnotist, the 9th person who has doubts in his heart. I said, I thought this guy must have controlled Ilhun from the start. I said, this is the first time I've heard of that attribute. If you're a prophet, your attribute should be a reformer. Jungkook cold sweat, he answered. I'm the 9th person who stopped reading the Revelation. I stopped reading because the contents of the Book of Revelations are very difficult. I won, then I don't think you'll be of much help to me. Jungkook panicked and begged while taking out his cell phone. I can help. Please give a chance. Suddenly felt a vibration from outside. It turned out that he one who was arguing with someone was about to fight. Me and Jungkook immediately came out. Younghyun stopped their feud. They finally broke up. They went back into the room. Jungkook apologizes for his friend's behavior. He won, and Lee Hyun stood behind like bodyguards. The curious me used the identification skill. But the information about this person couldn't be read. He won said, Okay, I'm sorry, Yoo Joonghyuk. The man was suddenly surprised. He won and Lee Hyun returned to guard outside. Hearing Junghyuk's name, the person whispered to Jungkook and asked my permission to speak. Outside with Jungkook, curious me secretly followed him from behind. He immediately contacted Bi-hyung to ask for a link and hashment. 2,000 coins have been used. With that skill, I can hear their distant conversation. That person says he still doubts that he is Junghyuk. As far as I can remember, there was no woman like that in this 3rd regression. I will find out the truth. If you really bring the real Junghyuk, that means we can handle the other prophets who have read up to chapter 50. I rushed back inside and was followed by them. The person said, Sorry for the long wait. Introducing my name is Jungmin Seok. I immediately ask, What chapter did you stop at? How many people are there like you? Startled, he whispered, So you said that? I stopped at chapter 1089, and there were 48 prophets that we know. Jungkook also said I'm sure there were actually more prophets. Maybe most of them didn't pass from the first scenario. Min Seob, who doubted my identity, said, As a prophet, I am honored to meet you. Sorry, but can I ask you a few questions? As far as I know, you should have taken Kim Nam-won in this 3rd regression, but you're with a strange woman instead. What happened? I thought for a moment, then answered in this round, Kim Nam-won, he's not there. He died at the hands of prophets like you. He also knows the future like you, and it seems he knows more than you do. Even he snatched the hidden scenario at the beginning. Because of that, my plan changed. He even disguised himself as me. I met him last on the verge of death at the Tumoro station. Maybe now he's there. He says of course that person is in front of you now. The Constellations admire your impudence. They were both shocked to hear that. They immediately checked their cell phones. Jungkook said, So this 3rd regression changed. I think I know who he is, but before that, I want to tell you first. Not all are on the same side. Again, I'm surprised to hear that. Lots of new facts, Jungkook said. The fact is there are people who call themselves apost. They believe only those who read the real revelation. They can change the world. To date, there are 11 known. So I guess the prophet that Junghyuk meets is an oppose. Unknown, they are people who pursue their own interests instead of helping Junghyuk stop the world from being destroyed. So please lead us. I paused and went back to following the plan and said, Fine, I'll form an alliance with you guys, but give me the station. They replied, Sorry, it was difficult. The representative is not our member. King has occupied it. According to the story of the novel, he is one of the 7 kings. He is someone who can be compared to Junghyuk at this point. But I think it's too soon for him to become king, because it was said in the novel, his power rose drastically because of the prophet's mistake. Jungkook said again, You don't need to worry, we have prepared a strong weapon to eliminate Thailand King. Tomorrow night there will be a meeting of the prophets. If Yoo Joonghyuk doesn't mind, come with us. After that conversation, I'm exhausted. After talking with them, I went to take over Dong Station and managed to change the color of my flag to navy. Now I have mastered 5 stations. I was then approached by He-1 and stopped those who wanted to talk using 3,500 coins to activate the Navy flag advantage. From now on, you can use group chat with group members. Now we can communicate confidentially, which only group members can read. I said, let's talk with this. He-1 says, I can't believe they know the future. Are they on purpose? You're right. Now for a while we're here to find out more information. I will finish them today. At night, when people were asleep, I walked covered in a cloth that made my body invisible. An item called cloak I bought for 3,000 coins. I entered Dong-hoon's room from behind. I immediately silenced him and forced Dong-hoon to drink a liquid. For a moment, Dong-hoon was silent. He was angry. What are you doing? I said, don't worry. I didn't come to take the flag. If I have bad intentions, I will not let go of the hypnosis from you, right? The liquid he gives is called Mental Awakening for 3,000 coins. It turns out that Dong-hoon has been under hypnosis all this time. I smiled. He said, I just want us to be friends. If you don't mind me having to say this, I'd like to talk to you. Dong-hoon was silent for a moment. I thought this boy was controlled by the prophets as a propaganda machine that manipulates the future, spreads information, and mixes fiction and truth. Character Han Dong-hoon uses White Area Internet Level 5. Your cell phone. You can use the internet anywhere unless the consciousness of Dong-hoon is cut off. They start talking, who are you? I told you, I've been looking for you for a long time. Don't you hate the prophet? They spoil the epilogue. If you permit, I can get rid of them. You just want to use my power, right? I replied. It was just the opposite. From now on, you don't have to do anything. The internet connection suddenly dropped. The new arrivals were amazed. It seemed the boy was sleeping again. I'll check it out. Suddenly they are surprised because I secretly came with a sword. He said I already beat up some of them. It was seen outside Lee Hyun was fighting with Dongmyo people. Jungkook shouted, What is this? Do you intend to fight us? You won't be able to face all of us. I took out my sword and immediately tore Min Seob's shirt. It turned out he was holding a navy-colored flag. I told you, it's true you're the representative of Dongmyo. No matter how honest you guys are, you guys definitely won't just show the flag. You've also manipulated Dong-hoon. It's not because Jungkook isn't a representative. There's only one answer. I immediately took the flag. You have got the flag of the Dongmyo group. Your Navy flag has the cumulative achievements of the Navy flag. Your Navy flag has changed to the brown flag. The strong flag protects you. Jungkook is annoyed. Why are you doing this? Other prophets will know. I replied, I don't know if that question has any meaning or not. Even if I were the real Joonghyuk, I would not have formed an alliance with you guys. I opened my identity. Suddenly they were both shocked. Could it be you? I smiled. You should read to the end. They can only surrender. The remaining members of the Dongmyeong group are waiting for your decision. You can impose behavior restrictions on the Dongmyo group. Now I automatically occupy 9 stations. The next day, I woke up and it was already 4 p.m. The effect of deep sleep has completely restored your mental strength. Some exclusive skills have been updated. A little more I will finish the King Root scenario and will get one of the objectives of the initial scenario. According to the plan tonight, we will go to the meeting of the prophets. Before leaving, I called out to the 2 of them. Originally, I wanted to kill them both, but it seemed they would be of use until I finished off those prophets. I then said, firstly, from now on, you can't tell my identity to other people. You have exercised group member representative rights. Now they can't refute my words. Jungkook and Min Seok have limits for their behavior. I say again, secondly, you must obey my orders without exception, and must not act without my permission. Group members Lee Jungkook and Jung Myung-sol are willing to accept boundaries for them. This restriction is a life restriction. If violated, they will die. Suddenly they both panicked. But on the other hand, they are also happy that they were not killed by me. I'm telling you again, you have to remember to call me Yoo Joonghyuk in front of other prophets. I then saw a mask that Min Seob had and asked for it. I put it on and my face is now like the real Joonghyuk. This is a useful item to change one's face and appearance. However, I have to pretend to be Joonghyuk in front of the prophets. I should also know about the details of these 2 people. I'm using the list character. Suddenly I'm confused because Min Seok is now readable by the system. I don't understand, even though yesterday he was unreadable, but now he appears as a character. After that, I asked for Jungkook's cell phone. The character Han Dong-hoon uses white area internet level 5 on your cell phone. He called me. He said, "This time I trust you just once." The sponsor behind the character Han Dong-hoon has shown himself. The constellation Shadow behind the current has thanked you. 500 coins have been sponsored. I immediately checked the conversation from the prophet on the cell phone, so there are 36 people in this group chat. Jungkook replied, "You're right. All the prophets in this group are the ones who stop reading at the beginning. Sorry, didn't you say yesterday you had read to the end? Do you know what is in all the books of Revelation? I'm speechless. You won't regret siding with me instead of Joonghyuk." They were both suddenly more excited. I said, "Let's go." Minseok and Jungkook and I plan to go to the prophets' meeting. It says where the prophets gathered are those who have only read up to chapter 50. At the station they made an appointment. When I got there, I saw a flag that was not occupied by anyone. "Hey, Jungkook, isn't there anyone occupying this station?" "You are right. This is a promise among the prophets. It would be dangerous to meet at a station already occupied by either one." "Notice their arrival. How are you?" "Your face doesn't look good," asked Minseok. "You're right. It's because King gave me so much trouble." Everyone there was looking at me. They thought it was Joonghyuk. My arrival was welcomed. "It's an honor to meet you like this." All the prophets surround me. They talked about their admiration for the figure of Yoo Joonghyuk. Someone from behind said it was very impressive when you fought against Demon King Asmodeus in the second regression. Was mentioned briefly in the book Revelation, and now I met the real Yoo Joonghyuk. Pleased to meet you. I saw him thinking. Looks like he read close to 50 chapters. Doesn't seem like much. Maybe he reads more than anyone else here. In the middle of the crowd, I said, "Just go ahead. Where are the weapons you guys prepared to fight King?" They then showed me a mysterious stone. For a moment I was silent. "What is a meteorite stone?" Someone replies, "You are right. Inside is a powerful weapon." It was like a relic weapon. I panicked a little. It was clearly a meteorite. "Shouldn't that meteorite take a long time to hatch?" "It can't be used now. Calm down, Yoo Joonghyuk. We have a rotation providing meteorite magic power. It will hatch tonight." I told myself, it's a red meteorite. Isn't something like this only known to those who read the fourth regression? Something's wrong. It's obvious this is a trap. It's dangerous. I shouted, "Who brought this meteor to you? That person is prophet number 1124. I broke out in cold sweat. We're in danger after all. Now who's a madman to come up with such an idea? And not long after, the stone vibrates. The barrier wall around the station instantly covered up. Damn, I came here to kill the prophets. At this rate, I will also die. I said, "Everyone run." But the station door was tightly closed by the system. Rossi protested against excessive filtering. The eyes of the many constellations shone at the omen. "Constellation awaits your brilliant strategy." In the chat room, I asked everyone to move behind me. Inside, I thought this was the fifth main scenario. Compensation for neutralizing it depends on the risk of the size and color of the brightness of the stone. The meteor then began to crack. The sign of the fifth scenario had appeared. Someone who was in front of the rock was suddenly hit by a burst of fire to death. Hot lava flowed from the meteorite. In the end, the stone was destroyed. A mysterious figure came out. A Class 5 fire dragon species. Lesson Dragon Igneal had appeared. The figure of a dragon appeared from within the meteor. Everyone immediately frantically ran over. I shouted, "Everyone return to the edge." The hidden scenario is about to start, I said in the chat room. The creature was not supposed to appear in this fourth scenario. Had unusual difficulty. Some constellations complained about the scenario's unusual difficulty level. Suddenly he stopped moving. Another figure appeared. "How did you guys get into this route? It seems like there's been a lot of adjustments lately. You haven't even finished the fourth scenario, but you have awakened disaster." "I know him. That's an intermediate level Dokja. Was he the one who made Igneal stop?" "In this scenario, it turned out to be accidentally obtained due to the mistakes of the prophets. Dokja says, now I decided not to lower the difficulty. It won't be interesting if you all die with this. But I will use the right to change the scenario. The content of the sub-scenario has spontaneously been added to the hidden scenario. It says hunt laser dragon or survive its attacks for 20 minutes. Compensation 3,000 coins. The guard was still silent. Lee Hyun asked, Are we going to kill him now? Don't dream about it, I replied. This hidden scenario starts. Dragon Igneel started to move. He immediately spat fire and attacked the crowd of evil people. Everyone screamed and everyone ran clockwise. Dragon Igneel continued to spit fire. Luckily, they managed to escape. I thought, we managed to dodge the first attack, but the next one will be difficult. Class 5 Fire Dragon Species. Laser Dragon Igneel prepares plants of destruction. I shouted again, looking for the numerical bearings to have been activated. Now a foothold appears with numbers written on it, where they can protect themselves from Igneel attacks according to the number of numbers inside. After the appropriate number of people enter the foothold, Absolute can be activated for 10 seconds. When the number of people in the pedestal does not match, Absolute will not be activated. Knowing that, the people went back to killing each other. This situation must be a trap that someone had prepared. Perhaps they were the ones who did this. My team and I haven't gotten our footing yet, and now there are only 4 footholds for the 5 of us. Dragon Igneel opens its mouth and is ready to spit out more fire. Joonghyuk, over here, someone called me. I rushed there. A torrent of dragon flames spread widely, completely burning the area. Absolute has been activated. Those in the cells survived the flames. I'm with someone now. That person said I remember the scene between Demon King Asmodeus and Joonghyuk in the second regression. I love that scene. Hearing that, I realized Joonghyuk was defeated unilaterally by Demon King Asmodeus. Wait, aren't people here who stopped at Chapter 50? The story about the Demon King Asmodeus appeared in Chapter 57. I'm angry and ready to slash. Don't be careless, what are you talking about? You are one of the apostles, right? That person is panicking. It is hard to trick you. You are right. Introduce me known as Apostle number 5. After 1 minute, the position of the footing will be regenerated. I ask, did you guys set up this trap? Foothold then disappeared. Dragon Igneel starts to attack again. I tell the team, the attack patterns are similar, so study the attacks and dodge individually. I went back to talk to the Apostle. What's your goal now? Do you need my help? How should I put it? Things would be more difficult if you died here because the revelation would be destroyed. We have news of your arrival here a few hours ago, so we changed the plan. At first we wanted to kill all the prophets, but since you are here, we will save you. Igneel's attack separated them. The position of footing was re-established. People were killing each other again. Fire Dragon Species Class 5. Laser Dragon Igneel prepares plants of destruction. Igneel spouts fire again. My team and I managed to take cover. A message from the system said, Hidden Peace penalty has appeared. The number of steps to be regenerated will be reduced in the next round. I was thinking, by now half of the prophet is dead, but we don't know how long anyone can survive. The Apostle said, I have prepared enough ice spells. Take this. Joonghyuk. The item is a pill obtained by hunting a Class 7 elementary species. By eating it, the ice attribute will be released for 30 minutes. I now realize some people let out a chill, and it was the Apostles. It seems they are directing half the power in this operation. Take this fast, Joonghyuk, otherwise all members of your group here will die. Don't refuse now. Joonghyuk's main base fell into our hands. Suddenly I was shocked. Are they there too? I know starting from a child with a strange power and one of the 10 evils, this is different from the original apocalypse. But you make a pretty good group. But if they die, shouldn't Joonghyuk repeat his regression? I'm getting annoyed. They are targeting Kunger, knowing I'd be here, while continuing to avoid him saying, Our group has cleared the King Route scenario by taking 10 stations. You must know the distance between your group and our king. This is clearly strange. Is he a prophet who read all the revelations? A good threat. I never thought they would be this brave against Joonghyuk. I said, Who is your king? The man replied, Our king is a prophet who has read all the revelations. Hearing that for a moment I was speechless. My guess was right. But wasn't I the only one who read to the end? I challenged, set the plan. I deliberately did not get into the footing. I'm not afraid of death. Have you forgotten my stigma? If I die here, will you be in the next round, or will you end up with this world? If you really read all of Revelation, you should already know the answer. I moved towards Igneel. Suddenly the apostles panicked, caught Joonghyuk. Don't let him die! A Class 5 fire dragon species using plants of destruction. I jumped, managing to dodge the flames and moving towards the station flagpole. I quickly jumped and managed to plant the flag. You have occupied Nodding Station. You have occupied 10 stations. The achievement value of the brown flag has increased. Hidden King Route scenario has been achieved. You will get a new king attribute, depending on the path you choose. I now get 3 special attribute choices as a reward for clearing King Route. Igneal right in front of my body, ready to burst. I was silent. He once screamed, "What are you doing? Quickly avoid it!" Everyone there panicked. The external durability had dropped drastically. Vest, I could not hold back the flames and then burn my body. I just smiled. A message from the system says you have died. A moment later, the message from the system appeared again. The privilege of the King of No Kelling had been activated. I'm not dead yet, I realized, now that I'm in a black room. The exclusive skill has reduced the mental pain. For a moment, I thought that this attribute had always protected me from the first time I stood up. To die by burning is the most painful thing. Now that I have survived because of the kill of killing attribute, with the special attribute of that, I will soon be alive again. But suddenly the system says, due to an error conflict with your exclusive skill, the privilege of King of the Killing will be suspended. My body reacted. Looks Gong Pildu still with Gil Young. The came and chatted together. In the middle of the conversation, while continuing to avoid him, saying, "Our group has cleared the King Route scenario by taking 10 stations. You must know the distance between your group and our king. This is clearly strange. Is he a prophet who read all the revelations? A good threat. I never thought they would be this brave against Yoo Joonghyuk." I said, "Who is your king?" The man replied, "Our king is a prophet who has read all the revelations." Hearing that, for a moment, I was speechless. My guess was right, but wasn't I the only one who read to the end? I challenged, set the plan. I deliberately did not get into the footing. I'm not afraid of death. Have you forgotten my stigma? If I die here, will you be in the next round? Or will you end up with this world? If you really read all of Revelation, you should already know the answer. I moved towards Igneal. Suddenly the apostles panicked, caught Yoo Joonghyuk. Don't let him die. A Class 5 fire dragon species using plants of destruction. I jumped, managing to dodge the flames and moving towards the station flagpole. I quickly jumped and managed to plant the flag. You have occupied Nodding Station. You have occupied 10 stations. The achievement value of the brown flag has increased. Hidden King Route scenario has been achieved. You will get a new